It's showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam! Welcome to the party, pal!
See you at the party, Richter!
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
You did not going to say that, did you?
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
To do the binds.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Inconceivable!
Little Dallas multipass.
This is a tasty burger.
Face.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I'm the bad guy?
And Hulk. Smash.
I can speak with an English accent.
Hit the hash pipe and join the National Guard. I could be elected president.
You went over my helmet?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
I know, right?
The list is in the open!
Hey, where are the white women at?
They're digging in the wrong place.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Are you not entertained?
Second start of the ride. And straight on till morning.
Meow.
You son of a bitch.
21 gigawatts!
Wax on, wax off.
Oh my goodness, I am sporting a tremendous Woody right now.
Bartender is the aristocrat of the working class.
You want to flip 6-3 whole play and you could score.
Cover me.
Dogs and cats living together, fastest terrier. On this team, we fight for that itch.
Might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No ticket.
No ticket.
I get older, they stay the same age.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. He's 15.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hope is a good thing. Maybe the best of things. And no good thing ever dies.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate, Oh My Feelings. How are you, sir?
Doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. What is the Reel McCoy? You might ask. Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie you watch and come back to us, and we break it down for you as my PC goes haywire. No? Okay. It thought I wanted to screen capture, so it freezes everything. All right. Cool. Along with that little glitch,
I would say as long as we don't have RoboMeth again, I think we're fine.
Oh, yeah. No RoboMeth. I actually did. Turned it off and turned it on about 2 hours before the show. Not an hour, not 15 minutes, and 2 hours before the show. Yes, we are starting early today. Now, if you're watching this on a replay, doesn't really matter. But if you are here live with us, yes, we are starting an hour early because once we got done with last week's show, we kind of went into like, I want to talk about this movie in length. All My Feelings said, man, I've got so many things and avenues I want to talk about. I want to talk about Heath Ledger. I want to talk about the Joker. I want to talk the comic books. I want to talk the Dark Knight. All that good stuff. So I said, well, we can do it, but I don't want to go beyond midnight. It's because when we finish the show, it's usually midnight. And it takes me a while till I fall asleep. Not that it matters to you guys out there, but it matters to me because I have to get up at 5 in the morning the next day, which means I get about 4 hours of sleep. And I really don't want to have, I really want to go, don't want to, go inside that 4 hours.
Yes.
Anyway, we're here early so I can sleep. Anyway, but I do want to spend some more time on this movie because I think from the entire month of August, where we cover twos are better than ones, which is sequels better than the originals, which is a rarity in a sense. The Dark Knight stands out as one of the best sequels to not a lackluster not a lackluster original, or it's not really original, but from the trilogy that kind of happened to Christopher Nolan, this is the second movie. And boy, oh boy, did he struck insanely big with this one.
Yeah. He and his brother.
Yes, I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that sort of stuff. So, if you know the format of the show, before we say hello to the chat, if you know the format of the show, we do have a couple of games that we play. So we will space them apart a little bit. And the behind the screen segment would be a little bit, elongated and intertwined with the actual story of the show. I'm guessing because this time around, both All My Feelings and I have kind of extensive notes, which both of us kind of sifted through because there's so much information about this movie. Yeah. We really could be here about 6 hours. It's very extensive. So let's say hello to the chat. Of course, to all our lurkers. And of course, Kaladin and Kalikioki, who are here early from the Salty Nerd podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all the joiners that will join in about an hour into it, like we kind of discussed backstage, we are here, me and All My Feelings are here to enjoy ourselves because we love to talk about movies. We love to talk about movies with each other. That's why kind of the show morphed into what it is today. So, do you want to begin?
Let's go.
All right. I thought for a second you went for the package that is supposed to be delivered.
Not yet.
Anyway, we will start the show as we start every show with a little segment we like to call Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
Swallow. Behind the Screens is where we turn to us and we get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, production, and a hell of a lot of stuff that was going on.
Yes.
Even before the movie even started shooting.
Before
do you want to start?
Even after production. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start and just you want to pepper in.
Sure, let's go.
So I think by far the most important note to start off with is Christopher Nolan never intended on making a sequel at all.
Yes.
The Joker card was just sort of a riff that was in Batman Begins as sort of just a send off so like the story could continue, because you never actually end with a Batman story because there's always going to be crime in Gotham that Batman's going to have to face. So it was just more of a thing that was introduced during the filming of Batman Begins, even though he had actually discussed it with David Goyer, but they never really got around to the concept of it. And eventually, speaking of Mr. Goyer,
before you continue, I just want to focus on Nolan. It is very important that people know or don't know. I don't know how people follow Christopher Nolan. Chris Nolan doesn't really do sequels or continuation stories. He's very much focused on telling you a story from start to finish, whether the ending is sort of open-ended or whatever, sort of like if you look at Memento, which is, kind of a weird story that goes backwards in telling a story. And it does have an ending, but everything is kind of weird. The Prestige is another one where it kind of leaves you a little bit with an open-ended area, but he doesn't really do sequels at all. So,
which is so odd because Nolan couldn't come on to start working on this project until he was done working on The Prestige.
I know. I know.
So initially, Goyer had outlined 2 different overall concepts for the film. But both of which still kind of meandered to one defining point where there's an escalation of crime in Gotham that leads to the Joker becoming the primary antagonist. And speaking of Goyer and his vision for the Joker, he made his past and the origin deliberately ambiguous. He wanted to avoid which is something that's come up for what comes from a lot of inspirations, is he actually wanted to avoid the origin story that was told in The Killing Joke. Which you would think, because oddly, one of the stories that he tells about his scars is half of the origin story from The Killing Joke.
Is it the story about the dad, right? The dad and the mom?
The him being like a kind of a low level kind of criminal guy that gets kind of trouble with gambling and
his wife gets the shaft, and he
actually the wife part wasn't really that included. Really, it was more of just like it was always just about the fact that initially what The Killing Joke really had to say was the entire narrative ultimately, and kind of what happened to Harvey Dent in this version of The Dark Knight is that it only takes one bad day to ruin someone completely.
Yes.
And it did happen to Dent in this. But so moving on to inspirations.
We'll get back to The Killing Joke for...
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of references.
Kind of reason,
throughout the film, we're going to talk about The Killing Joke and some other things. But really, it's I think by far the most obvious one is the Godfather.
Yes.
And the opening sequence is just Heat.
Yeah. Yeah, they took a lot of inspiration from the bank robbery in Heat, yeah.
Yeah. And for character-wise, really, this is really a story that a lot of people that actually read, who may be versed in some kind of Batman comics, but they've never really read before, is The Long Halloween, which really focused on the relationship between Batman, Dent, and Gordon.
That was notes. Frank Miller.
Yep.
Frank Miller's run in 1996, 1997, where he puts the trio, the Gordon Dent Batman trio, in sort of a focal point of his story.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Joker, both Jonathan and Christopher, because Jonathan was actually brought in. It's Christopher Nolan's brother to help actually kind of flesh out the script.
Yeah, because Goyer didn't write the script. He wrote the
outline. Yeah, it's like storyboarding where he gives general outlines of the ideas, and then they take and really flesh out the nuance of the entire narrative. So Nolan actually found writing the Joker to be the most simplistic of writing the characters, which you'd think would be difficult.
Simple is always better.
Yeah. But he
I guess
what he mentioned that he utilized different actually incarnations of the Joker throughout the Batman, I guess the entire oeuvre. Most notably, like one of the first appearances of the Joker, which if you actually read the really old detective comics from the 30s. Batman used a gun and murdered people.
Yes.
And Batman murdered the Joker.
In the earlier versions?
Yes. And the very, very first iteration of the Joker. Yeah, Batman just...
Okay.
It's depending. Depending on your interpretation, maybe he should have done that a long time ago, but...
Yeah, but they are discussing in this particular movie a question that has been on for decades, I think, even way before The Killing Joke, which is a later version of actually The Killing Joke, because it's probably the only storyline I kind of know. The Killing Joke is a culmination of that specific question that does come up in this movie, is how far will Batman go
before he has to break his one
before
rule.
he has to break his own code? And what code is that? It's like not killing criminals, is just getting them into serving justice and going in front of a judge and getting convicted.
Yeah, even though he has crippled a lot of characters.
Oh yeah,
narrative.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But so moving on, that the multiple different interpretations and incarnations of the Joker, but also oddly enough, Dr. Mabuse from the entire run of Fritz Lang films, where I was like, I didn't think about that until I went back and watched them for its long. I'm like, I can see it. I can see it.
Doesn't
Because
speak
he's
to
an
me,
outright,
but okay.
he's an outright nihilist.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And it's, whew, yeah.
Okay.
And again, I think by far the most really important bit is Nolan said multiple times in several interviews, flat out saying, no, the Killing Joke this is not supposed to be an interpretation of the Killing Joke in any way, shape, or form.
No. Most of, like, whenever people ask them, I saw two interviews, and it's so weird that everybody asks them about the Killing Joke. Knowing what the Killing Joke is, again, roughly speaking, because I watched a pretty lengthy video about it, this movie has nothing to do with the Killing Joke. The only thing that has to do with the Killing Joke in this particular movie is aspects of the Joker and the chaotic nature of the character.
Yes. Well,
certain elements and how he deals with people is like sort of like drawn in and mixed in with other stuff. And you have to realize that Jonathan Nolan, who wrote the script, and Christopher Nolan and Goyer, who came up with the outline of the story, were inspired by this, but the Joker character that Heath actually portrayed
is vastly different. Yeah,
vastly different from what it actually says in terms of lines.
I would say again, the only kind of connecting thread there would be that obviously in the Killing Joke, it was more about him when he shot Barbara Gordon, his daughter. It was to drive Commissioner Gordon over the edge, so to prove that it only takes one bad day to drive a man insane, like what happened to him in that version of the Joker's origin story. It was kind of just they're trying to prove that with Dent, where it's like, yeah, listen, all it took is this one thing, and I ruined it. Yep. I ruined this. Like he said, like, yeah. What was the line that he says? Do you think that I was gonna fight for the soul? I was gonna something about the fight for the soul of Gotham with you in a fist fight? No. I had a backup plan.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of that, the Joker's line of referring to how we're destined to fight forever, given the fact that like
that's from a comic book.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
but also, which one? I don't know. It's not from the Killing Joke.
Yeah, no, that's been a recurring theme that's a line that's been utilized countless times. Like most recently,
I think it was even in
Family.
Wasn't it also used in the animated series as well? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
because that's why when he was like, "Kill you? What would I do without you?"
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And he kind of says it to Dent as well in the hospital. It's like I'm just a dog. I'm chasing.
I'm an agent of chaos. I'm a dog chasing cars. I don't even know what I'd do if I caught it.
Exactly, which is the same thing as telling you I don't know where I would be without the Batman, because there's nobody worthy enough to create chaos with. I don't know.
Yeah, but most notably about that was it wasn't supposed to be set up another sequel. Like Nolan figured that this was going to be it.
Yes and no.
A little.
Yes
kinda.
And no.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to Nolan, he really didn't plan on making a trilogy. But once they really pushed him to do the third one, it was before Heath Ledger died. They really pushed him to do the trilogy. After they started seeing the dailies and see what's going on, they're like, we need you to do a trilogy. And he planned on doing the trilogy right after they finished shooting and before Heath Ledger died, because he had a storyline in mind that uses the Joker again, and it just went right under him, and he just went on a different direction, and it took him to another place.
Yeah, one of the big things that was actually going to be in that proposed sequel was going to be the introduction of Harley Quinzel, Arkham Asylum, and the trial of the Joker, which is way better than the Joker 2, tell you that much.
Yeah.
Still awful movie, still bad, still terrible.
Can't wait to talk about the real spoiler, because I haven't talked about the real spoiler in a lot, like to at least one person, I think. Not even you. I don't think I kind of mentioned the idea. Spoiler alert, if you care about Joker 2 out there, don't listen in the next 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
The guy who murders Arthur is the guy who wanted to fuck him throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about who killed him. No, I've never heard anybody talk about, they said, the guy who killed Arthur becomes the new Joker. What if the Joker invented Harley Quinn because he wasn't really gay? Harley Quinn was the guy who was in love with him.
That interpretation?
And when he turned him off, because he turned down Harley Quinn at some point, that's why he snapped and he killed him. I heard nobody talk about that. Back to the show.
That's an interesting interpretation. Huh.
Nobody fucking talk about it. Nobody.
Anyway, let's talk about a better movie.
That's another video I'm gonna not write again and be annoyed that I didn't.
Speaking of the Joker, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr.
Okay,
Mr. Ledger in this. Yeah.
Okay, now I have to interject because I do have something that I've written down because I saw it in two different places, which I've always, when I see two pieces of information that are the same in two different locations, that's a go. According to Charles Roven, who was one of the executive producers on the film, Heath Ledger was the only actor
choice. I was getting to that point.
Was the only actor that was even considered for the role. I have another iteration. You take it from here.
I would say, even though during that time he received massive flack for it because they thought he was completely wrong for the role. And actually, Ledger had his own interpretations because he didn't think he could follow in Nicholson's footsteps.
Yeah. To be fair, he was the guy that was pushing for the purple suit. Nolan didn't want a purple suit at all.
Had to be. I love
all.
The note too, just in there, the fact like all of his clothing custom made.
Yes, all of them.
No labels. I'm like, that tracks.
And I have like more stuff about the clothing, but you go ahead.
Yeah, but so also Ledger did something that he went a little bit method because he did seclude himself for a full month in a hotel room, reading nothing but the comic books to try to get that and understanding the tone of his voice by utilizing his abilities as a ventriloquist.
Interesting.
That's why you get all the different intonations in the Joker when he speaks, and how he has that very like look at me, that very sharp and crisp.
Sorry, I had a daughter invasion. She had to tell me her boyfriend finally landed back in country.
Well, that's good.
He was in Romania or some shit.
Hey, you at least like the guy, so that's good.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Is it funny if you just went drats?
No. Curses. No.
No. Oh, hi, Bella.
Please continue. Yeah, please continue. I'm expecting another invasion soon, but we'll see.
Yeah. So during the ventriloquist bit, and after that, he then created the Joker Diary over 4 months.
Yeah, and that's after the month where he was secluded. And hi, Bella, I see you there. I see you.
Yes.
Enjoy the show.
And also, reportedly, he couldn't turn his brain off. He was so method. So most nights he was getting maybe an hour to 2 hours of sleep at most during filming.
Yeah. Which caused them to take a little bit more pills than usual to make him fall
Yes.
asleep, and then he took way too many pills,
many,
and he fell asleep forever.
Yeah, he took a
took
a long
he took,
night.
took a night. I want to add to that. You probably have those notes, but I will add.
No, go ahead.
The way he modeled the character of the Joker. He wanted to have. This is him interviewing before he died. There's a very famous interview where you can see he's very loopy, but it's an hour interview to specific person, like I don't remember which company, one of the bigger ones, where he said, I wanted him to have Alex's vibes from Clockwork Orange, combined with both Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten, because I wanted that punk era kind of theme to it. And also, and this is something I didn't know, I saw it written down and I thought, well, that's a little off. And he imitated Tom Waits's voice. And I was like, really? Tom Waits of all people? And then I saw the video of like somebody interviewing Tom Waits. They have, when it's the lower register, because he has the high register and the low register Joker. The low register Joker is Tom Waits's voice. If you think about, let's say, if you think about somebody who imitates, let's say, Dylan, right? He is the way that you talk and the way that you say. That's sort of like both cadence and, the voice itself. He did that for Tom Waits. He had both the voice and his cadence when he was using the lower register. When it was the highest register, I don't know who that is, but it's somebody else. That's it. That's what another invasion. Hold on. Yes. You want to hug me? You want to give me a kiss? I can't. I'm working. Want me? Good night.
Get out of here, little man.
Yeah. He's getting to be too tall for this chair. And he also went a little bit lower down. I don't know why, but it is what it is. He's a good kid.
Yes.
We had a big argument about Roblox today.
Oh, did you hear
lost,
about?
Of course.
Well, did you hear about how Roblox is getting?
Yes,
sued
I've
by
heard
the
about.
government?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good thing I'm sitting.
It's a good
here.
thing.
It's a good thing I'm sitting here, and the computer is right there, and I can see whatever he's doing. I can see.
Good. So casting stuff.
So Heath Ledger, though.
There's a lot more stuff, but
of course.
so for casting, so for the role of Harvey Dent, there were 3 actors that were in consideration and one that almost had the role but then had to drop out. So the 3 were Josh Lucas, Ryan Phillippe, and Mark Ruffalo for Dent.
Yes.
Now, the big one was. Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. Before the big reveal, I can see Josh Lucas, even though I can see Ryan Phillippe for sure. Mark Ruffalo, no.
Ryan Phillippe in his later roles, like post 2006, I can see, but early not.
No, not the early roles, the later roles.
But the big one was
my camera has hiccups.
Damon.
Okay, I don't know. Kaladin, it could be StreamYards, but yeah, I can't do anything about it.
Well, stepped all over that line, but it was Matt Damon.
Yes,
Matt
sorry.
Damon. Yeah, he actually was really interested and wanted to sign on, but he couldn't due to scheduling conflicts.
Always with
Aaron Eckhart was brought on just due to the fact that Christopher Nolan loved his works in the progress, most notably Thank You for Smoking.
Yeah.
And he actually worked directly with Nolan to try to get his almost Kennedy-like cadence down, so he sounded more like the original RFK, especially like how RFK went after the mob, and it was like, yeah, that's probably why he also got assassinated.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, so Katie Holmes.
Wait, before Katie Holmes,
yes,
Nolan specifically told Eckhart, don't watch the Tommy Lee Jones's version because it, according to him, was a little bit too colorful.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's really spot on.
And also, colorful being an interpretation of any role that Tommy Lee Jones has ever played is just seems like a complete and total misnomer. Like, I don't think you know what that word means, sir.
I meant a little bit too high on the saturation of the color.
Oh, yes. But,
probably.
But so Katie Holmes decided that she wanted to work on a little project called Mad Money because she was going to be the lead actress in it. And oh boy, did she chose poorly.
Now there are stories because at the time she was married to Tom Cruise or she was starting to get a divorce from Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise has a lot of pull, and she may or may not have been suggested to work on Mad Money instead of working with Warner Brothers. I don't remember the exact timeline, and I don't really care because it's such a nothing burger because of this movie.
Very much so, yeah.
But her entire career from this moment of like 2007, 2008 was fucking derailed. And it's probably because of Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
So the good thing about Maggie Gyllenhaal is that she came in and she actually wanted to work directly with Nolan to get the character of Rachel down, which, to be honest, I think this is probably one of the better roles in her entire career.
Okay. I'm not as hard on Maggie Gyllenhaal as everybody I know. Like, I've heard tons of people who like dislike her work. She likes to do art house films. She likes to do these small budget films.
Well, I mean, everybody knows what
can go naked and go crazy. Well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the best film she's the best in is The Secretary. I mean, that's
I don't know. There are some really good ones.
Yeah.
Cherry Baby,
obviously, and also, of course, Donnie Darko. He's like, working with the brother. So,
which is weird, but yeah.
Yeah. So Dwight Yoakam was actually supposed to play the bank manager at the beginning of the film.
Who's Dwight Yoakam?
He's a musician.
Again, who is Dwight Yoakam?
He's a famous musician.
Country western?
Kinda rockabilly.
Then I would never know him ever.
No, but the thing was that Christopher Nolan was a big fan of his, and he wanted to be in the project and everything, but he actually couldn't because he was actually working on his album at the time. So that's just a little fun note.
Okay.
I mean, come on. The guy who wrote "I Love You, Man" got to work with, was it OK Go and Rush, because he was like, I just like these bands a lot, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna bring them in the movie.
But I know Rush.
Yeah.
I don't know who Dwight Yoakam. He's a yokel to me, if you know what I mean.
All right, Cletus.
Keep going.
Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
I know.
There you go.
I know.
So for the role of Lau, there was actually a pretty up-and-coming actor from Hong Kong named Edison Chang. And he was offered the role, and he was about to actually be cast and everything for it. And then he had a massive sex photo scandal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Bye, career.
Bye, career. Goodbye. You're canceled.
Yes.
Before there was canceling.
Yeah. Canceling always existed. It was just varying degrees of it.
I know.
Do you have anything else for casting?
Casting, no. I have wardrobe and makeup and for like shooting and stuff.
Okay. Well, we talked backstage a little bit.
Yeah, let's do the makeup and wardrobe for it's specifically for the Joker. Do you have notes for that?
Yeah, go ahead then. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I can do it. So, the way they did the makeup for Heath Ledger is very interesting because they specifically wanted him to have sort of a face paint that looks like it was put on several days before he showed up on screen. And they used a kind of technique where you have to relax your face. They put it on, and then when it dries, you sort of like squint your face or make your face like sour face.
Yeah.
And it kind of starts to peel off, and then Heath, the makeup artist who worked with Heath really closely, he said, well, if you need to scratch your face, just scratch your face. It won't bother the paint because it's mostly stayed on, and the dry parts that peel off will just peel off regardless. So you can scratch your face, pick your nose, whatever. And if you see the Joker in several scenes, if you don't look at it, you will not notice it. But his fingers are filled with like white and a little bit of black paint and a little bit of red. And there's a moment where he washes his hands. He actually did wash his hands because it was so grimy, and he wanted to press the button and not leave a mark on it. When he explodes the hospital, he just used a wipe.
Oh, yeah, I was walking out of the hospital. Yeah,
and he did that.
The comedy bit that was.
Yeah, he did that, and Nolan liked it so much. I think it was his cinematographer liked it so much, so he convinced Nolan to keep it in.
Yeah,
I think, if I'm not mistaken.
So great. We talk about that scene. I think the best part about that is when the Joker, when they're talking to Lau, when all the mafia bosses are together, and he goes, and I thought my jokes were bad, and I'm like, the only real comedy in this is the hospital scene when he's walking through, he can't get the detonator to blow up. That's the only actual like comedic element in the entire film.
Yeah,
outside of some really like dark humor, like obviously the magic trick, and
the guy who has the grenade in his mouth while the Joker drives away from the bank, and it just has a puff of smoke rather than just explode. Yeah, and then
the thing is too is I always wonder what that is. That supposed to be some kind of tear gas or perhaps knockout gas? Because if so, all of those people are still holding live grenades. If they fall asleep, boom.
I think it was a smoke grenade.
Oh, just like
but it didn't like go off, because when the smoke grenade goes off, it just goes smoke, and it immediately if it's in a room, the room is just filled with smoke.
And there's propellant in it
really
too,
bad.
It will actually like spin out too. It doesn't just remain still.
No, if you hold it, it just keeps going. You can hold it. It's not
if you hold it, but if you had it in your mouth, it would fall out of your mouth and it would just
fall off. Yeah, fall, for sure. Wait, wardrobe before you go on.
Yep.
The actual suit in terms of tailoring or tapering was modeled after Iggy Pop and Adam Ant, which I thought when I saw the wardrobe lady talk about it, she's like, wow, that's like really specific. She also mentioned, and that is so weird for this week, she also mentioned Terrence Stamp. Not because of his acting, because of his physique, the way he worked. And I was like, wow, that is like, oh, right in the heart.
Now, Terrence, I can see Iggy Pop, not so much, but
Iggy Pop, not so much. But Adam Ant and Terrence Stamp, if you look at their physique, it kind of looks really similar. They're wiry, and Iggy Pop is wiry, but like overly wiry.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Iggy Pop is as wiry as the Joker in the animated series, rather than this Joker.
That's a good interpretation. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And he's more like the wiry that you've seen, like a comic book wiry, rather than a real person who has a slender body and is very accentuated with his movements. So like movements. That's yeah, I know. Weird, but yes. And the other thing with the makeup is Heath was wearing this extra prosthetic that mimicked the skin. It was very, very thin. And you glue it on and it stays on for the whole day. Sometimes he was wearing it to go to bed because he rarely slept. And he kept it on. But in the first couple of days or in the first month, it really bothered him in the lower lip. And that's why he's licking his lips. Now, it started off as it bothered him, and then
like
he
a nervous
incorporated
tick. But yeah, then it became like the Joker's nervous tick. Because also, like, if you were to get a Glasgow smile, you would, you probably have a lot of issues. So.
Yes, you would probably have a lot of tongue issues. Yep. That's it with the makeup. I've got 2 more like special effects stuff. But go on ahead.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff like that too. Yep. But so to start off with, go for like set dressing and things. We're gonna skip over a lot of the filming stuff because oh boy, there's so
plenty.
much.
Yeah, I know.
The one big thing we talked about certain notes about Chicago, most notably. The one note that I really wanted to bring into light was just like all Chicago officials were completely on board with the film, and they worked in tandem with Nolan to sequester and shut down certain specific roads, bridges, and freeways at certain times. And Nolan actually worked around their schedule as well, so it would be less like impactful upon the actual like impact on traffic. So like
they were filming in downtown Chicago.
Yeah. In multiple scenes, and really like off Michigan. Yeah, there's several shots. We're like, no, I've been there.
I mean, it's so weird because the when they did the moving of Harvey Dent, and it's under the underpass. The shot where the rumbler hits the garbage truck and like puts it in the wall, they couldn't do that for real because it will actually cause damage.
Yeah.
That was a miniature.
Yep.
And they incorporate that into the chase. Plus, a lot of the chase like action scenes were shot on a stage, on a green screen.
Yeah.
So it was a composite of like CGI and real.
Where they did jackknife flip the semi, that was real. That
was real.
They did that for real.
Yeah.
Which is like,
did you see how they do it? It's so fucking like elaborate. They actually had a hydraulic press and just flipped it over. It's hilarious. And also when you see it, when they flip it in the street, you don't see the cables because they had cables to secure it because they had to jackknife it like
completely.
Exactly.
Had to go at a 90-degree angle to go like to actually go up and then go to 180 to flip over.
Yeah, 180. Sorry, not 190. Otherwise, it might have hit like a building.
No, because the first
downtown Chicago.
Like, down in the middle there, they had to actually to hit the apex at 90 degrees or higher. Because if it went like if it was acute at all, it would fall back due to the weight.
Yes.
So that they had to make sure like it went over to overextend it. And one thing that was really funny about that shot is I was going to talk about it in the shot, but we'll talk about it now. The stunt coordinator on there and the civil engineer that helped do the hydraulic press were like, okay, this is set to a very high limit. I'm kind of afraid it's actually going to make it flip.
Well, it's supposed to.
No, but I mean go like end over end.
Oh, okay.
And then they would not be able to control it.
Like a full. That's why they had the cables, dude.
Yeah, no, but weren't sure that the cables could actually hold the weight with the force that was going to be created. So it's like, ooh, that's a risky one.
Very risky. Like I said, at the middle of downtown Chicago, if that would have hit a building, it would have cost another 10-15 million to boot.
Yeah. But so for other, sorry, did you have your note about Chicago?
No, it's fine. Go on ahead.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say
I have one more note that is like interesting.
No, I got more set stuff I was gonna talk about. So if you got,
go ahead.
Okay. So the Bat Bunker, that set, it was repurposed as it seemed like it'd be way too unrealistic for him to be in the penthouse and it to be connected to the penthouse somehow. So like, no, he has to have the off-site Bat Bunker facility that he goes to, because like this just doesn't make any sense at all. That some for the other obviously where how it was shot. So it was shot in Chicago for like 3.5 months, then England for 2.5 months.
Oh, there's like a lot of different sets. They were in Michigan. Well, you mentioned Michigan, but it was like Michigan.
No, well, no. That's Michigan Avenue. That's to Chicago.
No.
But
they also filmed
yeah.
in Michigan for a brief moment. They shot in. They wanted to shoot in London, but it was too costly, so they shot in somewhere up in Norfolk, which is a little bit north of there. But Hong Kong, and I think they did something in Vancouver too. I don't remember if it was a stage or not.
I think that was where the yacht scene was placed. I think.
Oh, it could be. It could be
off the coast or something. Anyway, moving on. So after set stuff, because there's way too much about that too.
Yeah, I know.
The most important thing that I really wanted that really made this film very groundbreaking is it's the first major budget film to utilize IMAX filming.
Yes, IMAX
of all time.
IMAX specific cameras.
Yes. Well, and also 70 millimeter film.
Yeah. Which is, it became a Nolan kind of staple in a way.
Yeah. And again, it's only 20% of the film, but you can really tell even when watching just the Blu-ray or whatever, because you automatically know immediately what was the first scene that was shot on it for it.
I didn't.
It's the entire bank heist. That was all IMAX, because it's like, because that's the big spectacle of like, yeah, this is gonna get everybody in. But the really funny thing about it at the time was Warner Brothers was so reluctant about it, because at the time 70 millimeter film cost 4 times as much as 35 millimeter film. And it's like, you could have a certain portion of it in your budget. Had they known this is going to make $1 billion, they'd be like, maybe
they would have still wanted to.
They probably would have been stingy. Like,
low.
You could have 25% now.
Before we go into like the budget and stuff, the Gotham General Hospital explosion. Now, it wasn't originally in the script, not in the way that they did it.
Correct. Yeah.
So no exterior shots, just the interior parts. Then they had an opportunity because somebody told them, or somehow somewhere they got to a building that kind of could be dressed up like a big hospital with the drawbridge and everything.
But it was already set for demolition, so they're like,
but it was set to demolition, and it was the abandoned Branch's Candy Factory. Now, I don't know what brand Branch is, but I guess you do.
Brock's. So that is like, it's hard candies. So like
Brock's, not Branch. Okay, then
yeah. So they're like suckers, lollipops, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
hard candies. I think at one point in time they did most of the stuff for Tootsie Roll. I think.
Okay.
Americans, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But like Brox, you already know that like little like root beer barrels, the hard candies that are wrapped up, and not Werther's original. They have their own thing. but lots of hard candies, mints, and stuff like that.
So parts of the outside had a little bit, like I said, a little bit of dressing up, and it was CGI. Where you see the Joker, that's a lot of CGI hospital. When there's a long shot and you see the hospital explode, that's the real explosion.
Yeah, that's the factory.
Because when you see fire and all that stuff, that's CGI. When you see the thing collapse and explode, that's the real one.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. And now you can go on ahead on budget.
That's the only thing I really wanted to mention about the budget was just like, that made $1 billion.
Yep. It made $1 billion in 2008 post-collapse money.
Yeah, because even like 2008 at the time too was actually a down year.
A down year compared
films.
to 2007. And also they said they wanted to beat Iron Man in the first week, so above 100 million for the opening week. And they were aiming for just below Spider-Man 3, which had a massive week. It also blew that out of the water. Yeah. Close to 200 million domestic opening weekend, which is
just
fucking insane.
It's fucking insane. In 2008, now it's like 400 million or something crazy. Thank you, inflation. Just as it is, like when anybody brings up Spider-Man and like when to beat week one, all I can think of is that show Entourage, because Vincent Chase was starred as Aquaman, and like we just want to beat Spider-Man week one. Yeah. Remember that shit.
Anyway, no, that's, by the way, I said Spider-Man 3.
3, yeah.
Which was the most profitable of the 3.
And the worst out of the 3. Yeah, which you talked about last week.
We talked about it last week, yeah.
There's a reason why 3 isn't better than 2 month here.
Yeah. Because there's only one, which is Deadpool and Wolverine, probably.
No.
Give me a 3 is better than 1 and 2.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors.
The only one.
Boom.
The only one. God damn you. Definitely better than
or Silver Bullet. Gotcha, buddy.
All right.
So we talked backstage a little about how long this film is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really imperative to note that Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan fought for every scene to be included. There is nothing that they cut.
So essentially, The Dark Knight, the theatrical cut, is The Dark Knight, the director's cut?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Like everything that's pivotal, because it's like everything is imperative to the narrative. Rhyming there, I know. But
that is very, very, very rare.
Because, Jonathan and Christopher, when they were working on it, they actually tried to cut several scenes. But going
Lecky Okie is like, that's a rarity. Yeah.
Going through the process of rereading the script, like, we just missed so much after we cut these. And now it seems like a jumble of random scenes that are cut together. So it's smash cuts that don't, like, the timeline didn't add up on how many days had passed and everything. So they had to re-add everything back in during rewrites. But
that's really interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So fun stuff. The score.
Yes. I knew you would mention it, but I didn't know you would mention it now. Okay.
Yes. So
go on.
Nolan brought back Howard and Zimmer to score the film as a team. And Howard and Zimmer, actually, they cut what roles they had. So Howard had everything for Harvey Dent. Zimmer had everything for the Joker and Batman.
Okay. Okay. So Zimmer is the main Batman theme plus the one note that you hear when you see the Joker.
Yes. Well, some of the other like overall like scenes that are the music that's playing behind him is so funny because Zimmer said like he wanted something that he couldn't find the note that he wanted. So he oddly enough went back to his punk roots and the band that he played with, mentioning Johnny Rotten and Sid Vicious, and that's how he got the concept of the music for the Joker. And really why Nolan brought them back was he wanted to make sure that even though there's a different sort of tone than Batman Begins, even though Batman Begins was a darker tone, he wanted to keep the music the same to keep the continuity thriving.
You know how I appreciate that in movies, right? We talked about this. I think we kind of discussed it when we talked about the Star Trek stuff. That I really appreciate that. Star Trek does have, even though they kind of replace composers, everybody takes from the old and adds in the new, except for a few minor details. But if we're talking about franchise, if a franchise has some sort of a theme that is so intertwined with that franchise, you have to keep it in. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like the same story. And in a sense, that's a lot of the issues I kind of had with the Phantom Menace, where they did use the Star Wars theme, but not
different.
really.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back for the next two iterations because they kind of knew. They didn't admit it, but Lucas kind of knew. Yeah, I need John for this. Like I need like the old John, not the new John.
I fumbled the ball here, and I need to bring back. But
I really appreciate that. I really. It doesn't have to be the same theme.
Yeah,
the same guy, like riffing. You need Danny Elfman for both Batman and then Batman Returns, even though Batman Returns is a little bit different, a little bit added in some stuff. Yeah.
Batman Returns is a very darker film too than the original. Even though the Joker is the primary antagonist in the first Batman movie, you would think that's a darker one, but no, the one Penguin and Catwoman. Which there's a funny note about that too. That was an inside joke where I'm like, okay, it's good. It's about the bat suit, but anyway. So one last little bit which I found great was the marketing around this was hilarious. The Joker campaigns that were online.
Okay.
It was literally like the Uncle Sam, the Joker wants you, and posters and all kinds of stuff, and also the massive anti-piracy bit that Warner Brothers was on when this film was released was crazy.
Yes, but it was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary.
Which is
they were so afraid. They were so afraid because films were going digital. They knew they were going digital. That means they are going to be pirated no matter what.
Well, it was more the fact that they were afraid of the camcorders back then still, and it going up to well, no, that's really what it was, because they were having ushers go through and monitor screenings to make sure that people weren't recording. But no, there were also all kinds of different things. And remember that it was back in that era where when you buy a DVD, like you wouldn't steal a car. Why would you steal a movie?
I remember those. And we'll say hello to Mr. Keeley Shaw. And of course, Paul Harley. I've seen you, dude. I've seen you. Say hello. We kind of, like I said, for the new guys who like, what the fuck is going? Why have they started so early? Yes, we started early because this movie has a lot of different layers and a lot of like behind the screens almost has ended. And we're gonna play our first game of the night now because there's a lot, and we generally speaking sifted through. There's a lot of like visual effects that went into this, a lot of stunt work that went into this, a lot of designing and concepts. And we're going to talk about the concepts of like crime escalation, the war on terror that was all intertwined, especially that later Bush era, coming into the Obama era. It matters, but it really doesn't matter. But it does matter. We'll get to that. I know you're waiting to chomp on the bits on that one. But we will, because it's the top of the hour. We will start our first game of the night. It is called Missing Marquee. Couldn't get chomping of the bits out of my head and into my mouth. Missing Marquee is where we have 10 posters of movies, have their text written off. We display them, and you guys out there in the chat will have to guess which movie this is. We'll see. Amazing poster, not original poster. It is by a director that we've
talked about
lost.
a lot, and the color gives half of it away.
Yes. Yes.
It's also mentioned in Biodome, oddly enough.
This movie is mentioned in Biodome?
Yep, I will bring it up when somebody gets it.
Okay. Like the Weasel Biodome?
Yes. Yes.
I haven't seen that movie in forever. Wow, people are stumped. It is not The Abyss.
That would be The Abyss would be a very different movie if this was The Abyss.
Yeah. Maybe even a better movie. I'm not really.
And it did star a woman that we both agree it was vastly underutilized throughout her career and gorgeous.
It is not the Femme Nikita. No, there is no laying down on a pool table getting raped in Nikita.
No.
Not in the version I've seen.
No.
It is, oh, my feelings.
Blue Velvet.
It is Blue Velvet.
And the thing is, there is an entire scene. By the way, this movie is so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Reynolds being like the nice version of himself, which is Ryan Reynolds seems like a nice guy.
We talked about it last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago.
But in Biodome, there's a scene where the two guys are in there, and he's huffing on a thing of oxygen, going, "Look at me, I'm Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet."
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It is.
He's got it. It's Free Guy.
Free Guy. It also has a really cool Captain America moment.
Yes.
And a really not so cool Star Wars moment, but okay.
Yeah.
This is, I don't remember if it was the first or the second of their collaborated movies. I think it's the second.
I know which one it is, but I'm not sure.
It's not the one where they're diving for gold.
Yes.
Which
it's
is
the one where she's a journalist.
Yes.
Yes.
And she writes a paper. It's the... We'll give it to Kaladin. Do you know the name of the movie?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Dates?
There is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Dates.
Yeah.
Spoiler, she doesn't lose him.
This one you can easily tell because there's Matt LeBlanc.
This one you can tell because they desperately wanted what's her face, Lacey Chervais, to be the next child star, and it didn't work.
Yes, and they wanted to make Matt LeBlanc also a movie star,
a movie star, and it did not work at all.
No. The only one that really got a movie career out of the Friends family was Jennifer Aniston.
Kind of. But
which is fair because Jennifer Aniston's funny though.
You know why? And you know why? Because like her first couple of movies were like these small budgeted movies where they let her act.
Well, to be fair, her very first film was Leprechaun.
I know. And we'll put that away. It is, of course, the failed Lost in Space.
Yeah. Ew. This movie
People don't like this movie. Low key, it's a 7. I don't mind it that much. I don't like the ending.
All I gotta say is Mr. Christopher's character is the worst kind of fucking asshole that has ever existed.
Yes, of course. And it's so unlike Chris Pratt to play that kind of a character.
Yeah.
It works in that movie for me. It is, of course.
I'm gonna wake you up because I'm lonely, and I realize that I can't put you back to sleep. So we're forced to be together because we're both gonna die.
And also, I kind of thought you would have sex with me.
Yeah. Oh, that movie's awful.
This movie sucks, man. And for the longest time, I thought it was a remake of the Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart movie. It wasn't.
No, it's not.
6 days, 7 nights. Correct, Kaladin and Paul, of course. Let's go. Love this movie. I have about 4 different scripts I need to write down, and I'm so lazy. And this one comes after those. In the Name of the Rose.
Yep.
Fucking fantastic movie. And hello, Ben. Welcome, dude.
Oh, come on. This is too easy.
You know what? I've heard the song for this movie today, like an hour ago.
It's a classic soundtrack. And also, the only thing that I could think of right now that would give it away is the baby crawling out of the toilet. That's...
No.
Yeah. Paul's got it, though.
It is
train spotting, but it's fair enough.
Spotting autocorrect.
I think Gambit's autocorrect got you there, Paul.
I think so, too.
And we just covered this one a couple months ago.
Uh-huh. I just love this. There's really a myriad of posters for this movie, and this one is one of the best ones.
Yeah, probably one of
it's
Jeffrey
not
Dean
actually
Morgan's
in the
best
movie.
roles. Yeah.
Probably. It is The Watchmen.
He finally got his spider, Meth. He finally got it.
Look at the big spider. Look at it.
Look at the spider. He got it. He finally got it.
It is the Wild West.
Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this 600-ness brother running this Buffalo Soldier. Look, it's like I told you. Why do I know that song? Because any damsel that's in distress will be out of that dress when she meets Jim West. I don't know why I know that song.
The fact that Cisco's on that track is amazing. It's going straight to the song was better than the fucking movie. And the song was such an earworm in 1999. Oh my god. No. Oh. No.
You know, that was the same time that Chris Rock had his one song was No Sex in the Champagne Room. Those songs are forever linked in my mind.
It was also the time that Cisco had a career.
Yes, because this was right before the thong song.
It's right before the thong song, and then the thong song was an earworm, and then Cisco did not have a career
anymore. Yeah.
Because of reasons. It's called talent, and he had none. I'm such a bad motherfucker. I'm so bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just tuned in, we're an hour into the show on a Saturday afternoon for the US, but it is a Saturday evening for me. We will start with the movie and one of the most iconic scenes in any Batman movie, I think. And to me, this entire scene set the tone for the entire movie and exactly what Goyer and Nolan thought about when they came up with the movie. And we'll take off the Wild Wild West thing. It is a superhero movie. It is a Batman movie, but it's not really a Batman movie. It's more like a crime drama than anything else.
Yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, we have a heist, we have sort of a trial or a sort of a court drama for a little bit. We have witnesses that are being murdered. We have intimidation. We have
and also to
stealing of the money, the vigilante stealing it back and then losing it again and then getting burned.
Well, outside of the overall point that the Joker's trying to prove with the fairies, there's, I mean, well, and the bombing of the hospital, there is no like, no, give me $10 billion or I'm going to blow up the city, or I know I'm an intergalactic threat that's coming to consume the world. No. These are just about really the old Batman stories were about. He's a guy who's going out there and beating the shit out of criminals and putting them in jail.
I like Paul's like illegal rendition of a foreign national. Yes. The kidnapping of a foreign national on foreign ground and dragging him back to the US to be court. And also putting him on the steps of One Plaza Chicago. But
yeah,
not really, but yeah.
Nah, it's supposed to be. But so during that heist scene, there are so many great lines too that are leading up to. Well, the one thing is, well, they're asking like, why does he wear? Well, why do they call him the Joker? Because he wears paint, like war paint.
Yes, like war
and the
paint.
setup where like they're killing each other to get the bigger cut because they were instructed to do so, and that were the thing too where it's like, well, he wasn't even here for this. Now I know why they call him the Joker.
Yeah, because the Joker us. And you know what's crazy? And this is something that I saw like an hour video trying to give everything, every single angle, and man, the guy went to like several lengths to pull strings and make him work. But it was interesting because he brought something from not The Killing Joke, some other storyline where the Joker was haphazardly killing people while stealing something from a bank. Even showed the panel itself where he walks one way and he shoots a different way because he just doesn't care about the lives of other people.
Yeah,
it's
indiscriminate violence. Yeah.
And in this point, he shoots the guy, the bus driver guy, right?
Yeah, no, because I do love that line too. Well, one when the beta is he out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't talk. That's the best part is the setup to when he goes to the bank manager. But he shoots him with the shotgun like, where'd you learn how to count?
Yeah. Because he asks him, is he empty? And he just is like this, and he goes up, he gets a shot, and it was only like in the shoulder or something, because the bank manager wasn't really a criminal. He was sort of like, I can protect myself, I guess. And he shoots all over the place, and he doesn't count his slugs.
Yeah,
and when it's over,
one of them right off the bat, because honestly, he hit the guy in the chest, but he's wearing a bulletproof vest, so that he wasn't going to kill him. The other guy, he hit him directly in the back. It's like, yeah, he's dead. That guy is done. But again, the setup where again it goes, let me guess. So the boss told you to kill me.
Yeah. The guy says the boss probably told you to kill me at the end of it.
Everything into the car. And it goes, no. I'm supposed to kill the bus driver. What bus?
And, to be fair, you said the most comical scene was the hospital. There are some comedic elements to that.
I mean, there's some dark comedy in it, yeah.
But it's like super dark, not like, oh, I'm pressing a button and nothing happens and I'm stuck because my grandiose moment was ruined because of like faulty wiring.
Yeah, well, just like the faulty wiring too, that got the one guy that he's the safe cracker. That as soon as he shocks him, kills him, and he goes, "Yeah, it was good. I was going to kill that guy anyway." And the guy goes like, "Yeah, that's exactly what he told me to do." And the guy's like, "You do realize he probably told everybody this, so why the hell would you bring that up? Like, you're going to get shot in the face, man."
All right, I wanted to bring it up later, but it's one of those scenes where I thought about like for ages And it brought me back to the most famous scene with the Joker and Harvey Dent in the hospital, where we're going to get to that, of course. But
and I have a really good story about that Aaron Eckhart during an interview mentioned. But yeah,
he mentions one aspect of it. He says, everybody else has plans. I don't have plans. I just do. That is falsely wrong.
It's 100% inaccurate. I mean, well, even during the entire bit to try to get Dent,
Yeah. But my point is that entire bank heist is completely set up as
meticulously planned down to the second he drives the bus out to get into a convoy of buses. So it's like, you don't know which one.
Exactly. And to be fair, the little tidbit that we didn't touch upon in the behind the screens is every car that is for the set had license plates that said Gotham, but it's modeled over the Illinois plates.
Yep.
Should it be in a scene where you see other cars that are strictly not in the movie, not supposedly in the movie, or was it rented for the movie? So it's essentially just a car off the street that we just shot. It would not look off kilter, even though it's from either far away or not close enough for you to see it says Gotham. So it's a minor detail, and it's sort of an Easter egg that you really can't. I would try to look for it. You really can't catch it.
Yeah.
You see it at the truck that the Joker takes and the SWAT car, but it's so small and you can't really notice it. And the action just goes, so you don't even notice it going on. But yeah.
But the last bit about the heist before we move on is it probably has to be the most impactful thing is when he's talking to the bank manager. He goes, what I've learned is what doesn't kill you makes you stranger. And then he takes the clown mask off and you get the big reveal of the Joker's face for the first time. It's like, that's just a powerful moment. And that's juxtaposed to the shots of people with the bat signal up there.
Yeah.
And the one guy going, no, I don't want to do this tonight. And the guy going, you have better luck hitting the Powerball than getting caught by him,
Yeah.
And then even Ramirez, the crooked cop, talking to Gordon, saying, well, does he ever show up? Sometimes. I hope he doesn't, though. Why?
Yeah.
She's busy.
The thing about the setup for the MCU, the multi-crime unit, is it the multi-crime unit? The fact that knowingly Gordon got not corrupt cops, but cops that have been through internal investigation.
Yeah, internal affairs. Where
internal
you think
affairs.
That anybody who was involved in any of those under any suspicion whatsoever be like, yeah, no.
Sorry,
no,
major crimes unit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
You're not
major
part of this task force. Even if you've been under suspicion, I don't care. You're not involved in any way. No.
Yeah, but it's and Dent even says it in their first or second conversations. You have everybody around you are dirty cops. You know it, I know it. We just couldn't.
Even brings
they
up.
Don't say it, but they couldn't prove that they are dirty.
Yeah. Well, the one who was Ramirez, the female cop, was I almost busted her on racketeering charges. Where it's if you're almost that close, no. She shouldn't be a cop to begin with, but she shouldn't be definitely against any of the major crimes. So
yeah.
So we do have again.
This is
how
tie-in with Batman Begins. Essentially.
Yeah, we have Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow,
yeah,
as Dr. Crane, which he has a great line too at the end. What gives you the right? I don't have any problems. I beg to differ. And then, but also, buddy, me and Rottweilers. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Bunch of rowdy puppies.
Yeah. One of the things that I have notes for, but I didn't quite mention because I couldn't find the spot to put him in, but I'll put them here. One of the changes that they did for the suit actually helped Christian Bale not to bulk up, because for the first movie he really bulked up.
Yes,
and then of course he lost everything when he did the fucking Machinist. But we'll put that aside. But for this movie, Nolan specifically told him, "Look, I need you to train, but don't go overly muscly, because we will make you a suit that you can move around with."
Yes.
And make sure the training that you had with the League of Shadows now comes into play, because in the first movie, you don't really see, everything is very close up. But here you've got these like medium shots where you can see him fight. This was the first one where he goes through the, like Crane's minions that are dressed up like Batman.
No, those aren't Crane minions. Those are vigilantes. Those are other people that are trying to be like Batman. That's why he said that when the fellow Batman, I'm using air quotes here, start shooting, Crane goes, "That's not him." Yeah. And then when the tumbler comes in, it starts putting where it's just like dire warning or threat assessment or something, but basically just scared the shit out of people. But like, Batman, do you have to blow up poor people's cars, man? Seriously, dude.
Don't worry, Sander. Yes, we have started an hour early. We're going to finish on the regular time, so you have plenty of time to give us all your notes, which are always appreciated.
Yes.
And they did say, and you mentioned it before when you talked about Batman Returns, is the fact that there's a moment there where he talks to Fox at the very early. I thought it was much later in the movie, but he talks about it. No. You said about Batman Returns, and I'll get to that. Just wait a second.
Okay.
He talks to Fox about making like adjustments to the suit just because of the dogs, so he can move around. And he said, "Okay, you'll have like less armor, you can move around, but you'll be susceptible to knives
and gunshots."
Sets up the entire Joker thing with the knives, but also is like, "Oh, interesting. So you want your head to be turned."
Yeah, that's like, because that's just mocking the old Batman. Yeah. Okay, I got you now. I got you where you're going.
As you mentioned, Batman Returned about the head not being
because it's all Michael Keaton. Like I literally took too many steroids and my traps are way too big because I can't move my neck.
Exactly. And the thing about the heist, we get to see the juxtaposition between, sort of like you mentioned it, the fact that they had to put a bunker away from the penthouse because Wayne Manor has been not restored yet.
Yeah.
And later on in the same exact bunker, you had the Michael Caine tangerine.
The revealing
tangerine speech. I love that speech.
Yeah. The one bit that, just as an aside, there are some lines that are darkly funny, like that one line where the guy going, "What makes you any different than me? I'm not wearing hockey pads."
And of course, while they were talking and meeting in the bunker, because like Alfred came in and he had the breakfast ready, but there's no Bruce in the bed. So he goes to the bed and then goes to his like favorite corner, which later on he serves them the breakfast there. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go to the bunker." When he goes to the bunker, they have that conversation about, "You really are really bad at stitching yourself up, are you?" It's like, don't worry about it, Alfred. I'm good. I'm good.
Is it also the first time he mentions the "I told you so" line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, when they go up on the way to Harvey, essentially, and they do watch Harvey Dent in the TV, and Alfred asks him like, "Can we trust him?" And Bruce is like, "I don't know."
No, yeah.
I don't know, and that is like the setup. And We'll get to that in a minute. So we have that like I said, the courtroom drama where you kind of can see both Harvey and Two-Face at the same time. So
well, there's that underlying very curt and almost violent nature that's brimming under the surface of the demeanor of Harvey Dent. And that was even true even before this all happened, which was so the first time I watched this, I'm like, are they going to go the full route and have him splash acid on his face like they did in Batman in the animated series and different interpretations of how he became Two-Face? One of the guys, the mobsters, like throws acid on his face while he's on trial.
I don't remember I remember that they did one of the best storylines was the Harvey Dent story. One of the best, I think it was one episode that they did the full transformation of Harvey Dent. I think, or was it like there one and part two could be?
There are part one and part two, and there's also a funnier one. The one that's before that was where because Harvey Dent is actually friends with Bruce Wayne in the animated series.
Yes,
and it's actually Pamela Isley was dating Harvey Dent.
Was dating Harvey Dent, yeah, which was the first. Well, Pamela Isley
actually was the first showing of Poison Ivy in the animated series.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And later on, you have that conversation between Gordon and Dent, where you they hint on the Harvey Two-Face name, but they don't really say it here. They say it a little bit later.
Yes,
when he has that full transformation. Yeah.
They also set up the coin in the courtroom, and also how Dent is capable by being able to disarm him and actually like take the gun apart,
essentially. And we have that sort of like the conversation between Lau and Fox. So they're thinking about doing a collaboration or doing business together. There's a big business deal, which they don't mention what it is.
They were talking in during that. It's probably just a way to multiple kind of financing with the way that Lau's company was especially set up. Like it's like, I'm good at calculations, so apparently he's probably using some way to be kind of a bank hold for Goth for like all of like Wanko in Hong Kong or like in like the Asian markets.
Yeah.
So like it's a good reputable front behind which is all this back stuff. And Lucius even goes, well, how first and foremost, it's always hilarious how Bruce Wayne was asleep during the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy Reese calls him out on it too.
Yeah, because he would be asleep because he was up all night doing Batman
fighting
stuff,
people,
but also he wants to be this rich kid who had they gave him a company that he wasn't really running it.
Yeah, he's the billionaire playboy.
Yeah. Which is a great little angle of what they wanted Bruce to be.
Yeah,
right?
But the one thing that was great too was Lucius is already bringing up Lau. And Bruce is already one step ahead because that's the thing that Batman technically isn't a superhero, but if you know the meme is with enough timing and prep, Batman could be anything.
Yes, because you know what his real true superpower is. He's rich.
Well, that and he's the detective. He could figure it out. He could figure out how to beat you. Also, he's a billionaire.
Ben Affleck. He is rich.
Yes.
What's your superpower? I'm rich. It's the only good line in that movie.
Yeah.
In the other movie. Anyway,
we have the one thing just real quick with Gordon and Dent is just how Dent wins Bruce over. Dent won Gordon over with that conversation where they have that reluctant respect for each other.
Yeah. Now, they're one of the greatest introductions. I know the bank heist was an introduction. This one was I was gonna say too,
real introduction. But we do have that scene before too, where Bruce stumbles
yeah.
in on the date between Rachel and Dent, and more of just how Bruce is getting just the make of the man to understand that no, this is exactly what I want. And Dent impresses Bruce, and he even says the first iteration of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. After mentioning Caesar,
I think he says it a little bit later.
No, he says it here.
He says it here. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I remember it coming in.
Rachel brings up the old actual. This is an old Roman tradition.
I was trying to figure out where that line comes from. Everywhere I look, including ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini, all say that the sentence itself comes from this movie. And I'm pretty sure somebody else says it, and I couldn't find where.
It seems like a turn of phrase or an adage that had been spoken before, but
look, I actually started looking at like in the DC comic book universe. Was it in a Batman movie? Was it not movie? In a Batman story, in a Superman story, maybe. Was trying to figure out who said it. No comic book reference. So I tried to find real world references. Couldn't find any. No Shakespeare stuff. No nothing. If it was attributed to Julius Caesar, then probably a misquote for this particular movie, or there's something that somebody knows that I couldn't find out.
Well, it could be something that. Well, the Caesar bit was just what Rachel was referring to. How Harvey mentioned the fact that in the Republic they actually would nominate someone when during troubling times, but Caesar was never nominated. In fact, that there was an issue when he crossed the Rubicon, and he actually that's where the die is cast is from, and crossing the Rubicon is a bit of nomenclature because of that. Because once he did, he's like, "Well, I'm now declaring war on Rome. I am now an invading army." So anyway.
Okay.
Moving on.
Cool. Moving on.
Moving on to probably like one of the best bits is the mob meeting with Lau, which you got to give the TV man, which what the Joker calls him, Lau, credit. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're infiltrating all the banks that have your money now, but I already moved it."
Yeah. And he looks at the screen and he tells it to the mobsters like, that guy's gonna squeal. I know a squealer when I look at one, and he ended up being a fucking squealer too.
And I did love too, like how he's laughing. We mentioned this backstage. He's laughing and like, and I thought my jokes were bad.
Yeah, but this is, I think one of the best introductions to this character ever. Yeah.
Obviously, the trick, bang, it's gone.
It's gone. And it's not just about the makeup. It's not the green hair. It's not the suit, which has a lot of makeup shit on it on purpose. Like I said, he was encouraged to do that, and some of it came from him. It's I don't know how to say it that is impactful. It is so not Nicholson. It shocked people.
I would say he is the antithesis of that character, of the Nicholson interpretation of the Joker. Because the Nicholson interpretation of the Joker was more slapstick and funny. And also, you compare it to Mark Hamill's version of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, where that was also he was more, again, that what you mentioned before, like the machinist, lanky, like Iggy Pop, skinny. Yep. And they both had menace, but they really didn't like their violence was cartoonish. This pure wanton violence.
And yeah, he looks more like the Crow than the Joker. There's something in that.
A little bit.
Take away the red smile. Kind of, yes. Because the black is kind of run down and runny and goes. Nicholson. Sanders says Nicholson is more sinister.
I disagree.
I think I disagree with that. I think that, let's say, Nicholson was more evil, less chaotic.
Well, and I would say
Ledger
Nicholson was
chaotic.
predictable. Nicholson was predictable. He's an absolute nihilist. You have no idea. Paul, that's a great. Whenever we cover John Wick, that is an important note that I'll bring up, because yes, that is true about the pencil, and that's why in John Wick 2 he kills a guy with a pencil.
2 or 3? Was it not 3? It wasn't in that bar. No.
It was
2.
2.
Yeah, because
that's when all the assassins get called on it.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. 2 and 3 are, to me, is molded together. Okay, I want to touch upon something.
And I do have to love his line too, because you want my. Well, if you're good at something, never do it for free. About killing
never do
Batman.
it for free.
And what do you want? Half.
Yeah. I want half, Eddie. I want half. I'm an American woman now. I want half. If you know, you know. Okay. One concept, again, watched it Tuesday before even watching the movie, because I've seen the movie at least 10 times before today. And I just had such a blast watching it today. I didn't even need to see it. But one of the things that came up in my trying to find out
up to is he calls out the ones that take him and Rachel. Right there.
That's one thing. In this movie,
payoff.
There's a lot of foretelling. So telling you what's going on before it happens, and then it happens, and you're still shocked. Lots of setups and payoffs during several moments. It doesn't sets up in the beginning in the first act, and then it pays off in the third. Some things are paid off at the very end of the first act, and then they happen in the second act. Very, very, very strange, but very interesting way of telling a story, which is great. You're always on the back foot. You're always trying to see, well, wait, did he really say that? Is it really going to happen? Yeah, it's really going to happen. One of the things that came up, and I never thought about it until this Tuesday. Gordon calls Dent, before this happened, before this conversation, he calls Dent the White Knight.
Yes. So
Dent is the White Knight for Gotham. Batman, evidently, is the Dark Knight, is the Black Knight.
Well, no, that's what's actually the last line of the film.
And who is Gordon but the Gray Knight? He's just the workman. I saw it come up, and I thought it was very interesting to call sort of like that guy's white, clearly. That guy's black, clearly. What's Gordon? He's the blue-collared worker. He's the blue-collared cop that just wants to catch the criminals and be home for supper. He's just the gray worker. He's just the city. He is the Gray Knight because he is a protector of sorts. But he is so overwhelmed. He is on one hand chained by the system, by the white, the good, the wholesome, whatever you want to call it, side of the city. But also he's kind of dirty from the grime and grease and criminal elements of the entire city. And also, again, the MCU, the Major Crimes Unit, is filled with dirty fucking cops.
Yeah.
So he is in between them. It's a very... Thank you, Sander. It is not the Fart Night. Thank you. A concept, again, that I didn't even think about it, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. And throughout the movie, Gordon is like a little bit more vigilante, a little bit more, no, we have to stay by the rules. That's sort of a dichotomy of his role until he becomes like the commission, and then he's kind of forced to be the other White Knight of Gotham, which he doesn't really become, but Continue on.
So after the meeting, we have the setup where the conversation with Lucius and Bruce I thought was great by setting up that the whole CIA program. Perfect spot there. Was just like, oh, so that's how they're going to get him out of the situation, and how he can extricate himself without needing somebody. So that like Bruce has got a flight there, but how he got back by being Batman, be like, how the hell would he get away with that? Because they would know he's Bruce Wayne. Like, oh, okay, self-chartered and done.
Yeah. So
the other funny bit about that there though is he asked him about dogs. Like we talk about Rottweilers or Chihuahuas. That is no, it should do fine against cats.
I love that. And evidently it did not work against cats in the third movie. But we'll put that aside. Not because it didn't work.
No, it's just funny the fact that like anybody who's a fan of Batman, like, it's a Catwoman joke, but Catwoman's not in the universe yet, so it's like, that's foretelling. But then we have the alibi bit, which was fantastic with Rachel and Dent walking up there and him going, "You mother."
Oh yeah, the whole yacht thing, that was absolutely great because again, it fits with the whole theme. Where is it? There. It fits with the whole theme of, again, Bruce Wayne being this playboy guy rather than, just a billionaire. And it's like, how do you say in Russian, apply your own bloody suntan lotion? Poor fucking Alfred. He's like,
I don't know. If you look at him, I'm not feeling too bad for him, to be honest.
Well, I think if this was Michael Caine,
yes, Michael Caine would be like, no. For me, though, it'd be like, so how do I say in Russian, do you need more suntan lotion?
But it's a great little way of like keeping him in the sort of keeping his image as an alibi who just takes off and fucking goes off in this adventure with the entire ballet and still kidnap fucking Lau. And I had a problem with this. So Lucius goes into Lau to tell him that they're not going to deal with this. Lau paid for him to be there. They tell him not to bring his phone. He doesn't bring his phone, but he does bring another phone that he forgot.
So
who called him?
I assumed it was Bruce.
Me too, but they don't mention the call. Like Lucius doesn't talk to Bruce and tell him, you shouldn't have called. We could have.
No, I think that had to be done. So when he's walking downstairs, it checks out that it's like, oh no, I still have my phone. So the security guard's like, oh, we missed yours. So we leave it in there. So the whole sonar bit is set up.
No, I mean, to have it is one thing. The fact that it works and chirps and Lau doesn't even say anything after. It's like, I told them to take your phone. It's like, I'm sorry.
Oh, I forgot I had it. Like, well,
one misstep in the entire movie, I think. One little tiny misstep.
There are some contrivances. Yeah, that's fair. But it was more just to set up the fact that he leaves the other phone in with security, which again, that's also a plot contrivance because you think like, well, that was a phone from someone who doesn't need it anymore. We're going to discard it now. We're going to get rid of it, not leave it here.
But I think from like most of the Batman stuff that was in the movie, this was like utilizing the suit or him being a bat and can like pull his entire cape to be an actual bat suit. The only true superhero guy that has a cape that actually needs the cape.
Yes.
Otherwise, none of them actually do need the cape.
No. In fact, if anything, it's actually was shown that It was in Watchmen, where that's how one of the original Minutemen died, because he had a cape on and it got stuck in the turnstile of one of those revolving doors, and he got stuck in it, and they just shot him to death.
And also it was from Incredibles that they showed how the capes like don't work, and then Edna says no cape.
No, fair.
No cape.
One thing we did kind of gloss over real quick was the killing of one of the mobsters, and the most important about it was the first iteration of you want to
Michael Jai White
stars and the Why So Serious line that became prolific after this. So we have the interrogation by Rachel, who does play it pretty well, but Lau also gives them just enough to bury everyone except for himself.
I'll stick around. We're holding tryouts. Oh, yeah. He takes breaks the queue, and then he leaves them one of them, not two.
Well, no, we're in for aggressive expansion.
Aggressive expansion. That is something that you would see Nicholson do, or the animated series guy do. Not this Joker. That's where it kind of like, okay, there's a moment there when there are moments in the Joker where he has that homage to whatever came before. We'll get to the chase scene in a bit, but that was one of the things that was like preemptive. And they play Lau really good. They play to his fears of like, I don't want to be in general population because I'm going to get killed.
Yeah, if he goes to county or Gen Pop, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Just because they don't want to lose their money, essentially. And when the cups do come and it goes back to the mayor, it's like, are you sure? Like, we know that like the head guys are gonna, and even Dent says is like the head guys are gonna walk regardless because
they put them under RICO, which is that's how they bring down criminal organizations, because if people are attached to it, any crime committed by it overall, you are by proxy guilty of that crime.
But because they could convict the lower level guys and they're off, and more importantly, they're off the streets. And he's talking to the mayor, not like an AG, but more like a politician. You can see their conversation has nothing to do with actual crime, but more like if there's no middlemen or lower men in like on the streets.
Yeah, think of what your campaign will be next time around if you have, a couple of years of crime-free streets
or less, less crime. Yeah. And this is like, Lenny, you would be making the lives of millions of voters happy. That's from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same kind of conversation. You placate to the politician within the man, and you're like, less crime, more votes, you say. Okay, go ahead and do the RICO thing.
Yeah. And then we have the jump scare of one of the first of the vigilantes.
Yes. The guy who was a cop, but he wasn't really a cop because they kind of done away with him. Maybe it was Dent. Maybe it was just internal affairs. They don't really explain a whole lot, but we do get that sort of hostage video that the Joker does, where again he does that lip thing, the lip smacking thing, but you can only hear it. It's very ASMR, that video.
Yeah.
And you can kind of hear it, and it's within that same cadence of how the Joker talks all throughout the movie, where he's a little bit like lower register, and then he goes crazy, and then it kind of lowers back, and then he goes crazy again. Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, we have obviously the first iteration of Joker's demands. Like, if he doesn't reveal himself, people will die, and I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
And so we go from that leading directly into the fundraiser, and Bruce's speech where Rachel tries to chastise him is like I know he doesn't know that you're making fun of him, but I think you are, and I know you very well. But no, I meant every word of it, because really this is the turnaround point for him. This is my end game. This is what Batman was supposed to bring about, was someone like Harvey Dent who can utilize the system in order to tear it down.
And this is why he called him the White Knight, because he's the guy who can do what I do and bring people to justice without resorting to vigilantism. And
correct.
In this conversation, it seems like he does it out of not because I want to rid of crime in Gotham, more like I don't want to be Batman anymore in order to be with you. That brings in that whole weird love triangle thing that is going on, where he wants Harvey to succeed, but he really doesn't want him to be with Rachel at all. And that's what prompts him to go after Rachel when Rachel and Harvey are kidnapped by the Joker, and the Joker kind of knew all about it.
Yeah, that's the reason why he gave Batman the address for where Harvey was.
Yeah.
Not where Rachel was.
Yeah, because they don't explain how he knows. They really don't. But it seems like the Joker knows
well, because
a little
he even said it, like, for a second there, I thought you actually were Dent because of how you went after her. So again, misleading Batman, giving him the wrong location in order to save Dent. So Dent has that moral quandary that ruins him, leading back to the Killing Joke.
Yeah. And all throughout this, it goes back and forth, right? Because there's 3 locations. There's the party that gets crashed by the Joker, right?
Yeah.
There's the fake cops or not fake cops going for the judge. And there's Gordon trying to protect the commissioner, who seems very nonchalant, to be fair. And
because you wouldn't think that someone was able to put some kind of acid in your whiskey, which you'd think it would have eaten through the whiskey bottle if it was able to eat through the glass.
I don't know if it was an acid. I think it was just poison.
Like, it seemed like it was melting it, but anyway,
I think it was poison, and what they wanted to emphasize is the fact that it is poison, even though you see him keel over. But when you see the glass tipped over and you see the little, that little
smoke
come off, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's poison.
It's poison,
right?
The funny that had to be like, only open it. It tells you where you're gonna go. It just says up. I'm like, okay, that's also a very, very dark joke.
Yes.
Just get it because it's blown up.
These are sort of the 3 places where you kind of see where the Joker is going for, even though it's a much more elaborate plan, right? So
yes,
he goes after Dent, the commissioner, and the judge, which is more akin to the lower levels, the high levels, but the lower levels of the crime fighters. Because after that is the mayor, right? Even though the mayor has nothing to do with law enforcement, really.
No, it's just like an escalation of the power in the city. And it's not depending on who could actually really prosecute him. It's more of like who would have the power. So it would go after then the city, it would go with the mayor, and then he'd want to go after the governor. That would be like the escalation there.
Yeah. And we can talk about the escalation, the real escalation with Batman, but just in a bit, because with the Michael J. White character, he had that story about his father, Now he goes after Rachel, and
there was that one guy who goes like, "Well, we don't bow to cowtown to scum like you."
Yeah,
and you're like, "You remind me of my father. I hated my father." And then it's Rachel.
Sort of like he mirrors it in a way, but not really. It doesn't really go into the story because he told the story before. In this point, he tells a way different story. And
yes. And this was a story I was referring to and there are two different interpretations of it. The Killing Joke has a version of it that's like this, and also the one with under the Red Hood. Not the actual character, but the Red Hood originally was the Joker because he was trying to be, he basically got wrangled in to be part of a crime and he got pushed into the vats.
Okay.
But in the Killing Joke, the wife bit was kind of the whole story where he got indebted into the mob and everything, and he was married, and yeah.
Now, for me looking at this particular story, this doesn't really invoke comic book to me. This actually invokes Batman 89, because in Batman 89, Nicholson had a girlfriend who was Mick Jagger's wife at the time. I don't remember her name, but she was his wife at the time. And in that iteration in Batman 89, there's a moment where he defaces her face and she has to wear a mask. Remember in the museum scene with Vicky Vale, he unveils the mask and
Jerry Hall.
Jerry Hall. Thank you, Jerry Hall. So there is he defaces his wife after he got defaced as well, and that kind of causes a rift between them, implied rift. That was invoked to me when I came to watch this scene for the very first time, because it immediately went back to that scene where like Jack's girlfriend had like a deformity because he caused it, because he was feeling it's sort of a reverse kind of a thing. Again, you don't actually know if that's the real story because he is an unreliable narrator when it comes to talking about his origin story
himself
and his life. And you mentioned it before, Goyer and Nolan specifically wanted him to be a fully formed Joker rather than we'll tell you like an origin story.
Yes, where he's more of, to actually paraphrase the film itself, he's the agent of chaos. He is a nebulous, ambiguous figure of just pure, unadulterated violence. That's what he is.
And this is the moment where it kind of sealed her life, because this is the moment where he knew he would go for Rachel rather than Dent. Whereas like let go of the woman. That's a poor choice of words. And this is something you tell me all the time. Phrasing,
yes.
Yeah, phrasing. Yes. It's like, okay, I'll let go. I love the fact that when Joker comes into the party, Bruce leaves and he's clicking on the thing.
There was that couple there too.
Yeah,
where
the couple is like, oh my God, he's got a panic room. And it's like, he closes it.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
well, I'm thinking too, it does look like Bruce Wayne is being just a selfish prick, which what people already think of him. So
I love that they put this scene in.
Yeah, the Reese guy.
Because Lucius at the beginning in the boardrooms tells this guy, you go ahead and check the books. When he does go check the books, he finds the R&D stuff and he's like, I want 20 million for every year for the rest of my life.
For every year for the rest of my life. And it's also like, so what you're telling me is you think that your boss, who's a billionaire, is a vigilante who beats people up at night.
And you're trying to blackmail this guy?
You're trying to blackmail him. Good luck with that. Good luck.
I love the fact that they were so confident in that, and it solves the issue of what would happen if one of these minions actually does check the books, because that question was raised in Batman Begins.
Yep.
And Bruce tells Lucius Fox, don't worry about it. He specifically tells him, don't worry about it. We will, it's like, we will find a solution, or the solution will present itself. Something like that. Which does happen.
There is just one bit right before that we kind of glossed over real quick, was just the Alfred story setup of when he in his previous life, about the warlord and everything, and the submen want to just watch the world burn bit.
Yeah,
that is the only important bit about that. And then also the killings of the two people.
Yes, which
with the
leads
last names Dent and last name Harvey.
Yes. This is right after the party, because he said, I'm going to kill Harvey Dent, and he killed Harvey and Dent. And it's like, I love the fact that he's like, I need 5 minutes or 10 minutes before your cops contaminate the scene.
And Ramirez, the corrupt cop, going, well, you already corrupted him with dividends.
Fuck you. Point in reference, you cannot do that with a bullet.
No,
by the way,
that's utterly impossible. No, you can't, like, fragmentations of no.
And now I get back again to the scene of Joker and Harvey Dent in the hospital, where Joker says, I don't have a plan. This is antithetical to what he said, because he planted the bullet there with his thumbprint in order for Bruce or Batman to actually do the composite, find out
the thumbprint,
where he's going, go to the apartment, and have the timer on the window pop up as soon as it should be, which was, a little bit convenient in terms of movies, but works really well.
Yeah, what's great about it too is, in so many ways, this version of the Joker is kind of an amalgamation of the Joker and the Riddler.
Interesting.
Because the Riddler always has plots and schemes that are very detail oriented, that go down on the precise second. The Joker, not so much.
Not so much, yeah.
He has in interpretations, he has some grand plans that work out, but not to this contrived of a level.
Yeah. It's really hard, and it happens really quick, because the window opens and immediately one of the snipers is like, okay, rooftop.
Yeah, a window
and
went open.
Shoots.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
And he just shoots. Again, very contrived, but it's the only point in the movie where you kind of see the Joker without makeup.
Yes.
Because he goes after, this point. This is essentially the Joker without the makeup. Again, I go back to the Nicholson bit where he's wearing makeup on top of his white sallow skin that has been disfigured, which is the other version of Joker, where he is white all over because he went into the acid vat or whatever.
It's from the chemical bath at Ace Chemical, yeah.
Yeah. Sanders says, is he? Again, like I said, when Joker has the Nicholson real face just with the smile, that's the makeup, and underneath there's the white skin. In this point, if you look at it, you can still see the makeup, but it's not really there, but it is there.
Well, no, because I thought in the Nicholson version, he does the chemical bath and that actually does his bleach his skin.
Yes.
So the white is there, but he has makeup on top of it, obviously. But no, the pancake, no, that's his
no,
skin now.
the skin, the sort of like the skin color, like the real color,
Yeah,
is it's on top of the white. When he brushes his forehead, it seems like he's applying white, but is actually taking away the brown. Because he's white underneath.
Yeah.
So is that moment him without the makeup? Because the makeup seemed to fall off from his face. I mean, the Heath Ledger version. So is he without the makeup, or is he with skin makeup on top of the makeup? Like I said, it's too much layering.
I think you're conflating characters today.
I'm not conflating any characters. Oh my God. Do I have to pull it up? Okay. Jack Nicholson brown makeup.
You might get some really unfriendly results there, bud.
Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted.
Are you saying, like, when he tries to pretend like he's a normal person, he puts on a mask, but underneath he has the sallow,
just
a
white
moment. Skin?
So she poured water on him. Vicky Vale poured water on Jack, right? So the brown makeup fell off.
Okay, we're on the same page. We were talking about the exact same thing
underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is juxtaposition to this face where you don't know if it's the Joker without the makeup or it's a double layer. So he has the white makeup, and on top of the white, he has this regular skin makeup to make him look like a regular cop. Otherwise, he would be very, very inconspicuous.
I would say this seems like that this is his actual face, not makeup on makeup.
I'm guessing it is.
Yeah.
I'm just posing a question.
Okay.
Just posing a question. We're just an hour into the movie. Just saying.
I know. We got to blitz a little bit, but
we are going to blitz. But before we're going to blitz, we're playing our second game of the night because we're 2 hours in, my friend.
Yep. I told you this is going to be a long one.
I know. That's why we started an hour early, Sander. All right. Let's play our second game of the night. It is called Cinema Deathmatch.
Round 1, fight.
You thought I forgot, didn't you?
I'm so glad the name is back. Finally.
Cinema Deathmatch is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good or both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? Major League 2, not 1, or The 40-Year-Old Virgin? Chat participation is most welcome. Just give me your pick.
I know it's probably gonna be the most popular option, but it is probably one of Steve Carell's best roles. The 40-Year-Old Virgin is. It's so funny. What? It's like, yeah, boobs. They were like bags of sand. Bags of sand? Man, what are you thinking?
It's
wow, looks like I got a big trunk. Hope I can fit my bike in it.
I do love both of the major leagues. I think the Major League 2 was even though it was like 4 years apart, I think Major League 1 was 90, right? Or is it 91? Anyway, it was a little bit too late. They needed it to be back to back, I think. And they kind of lost momentum. The movie isn't that different from the first one.
No.
But the 40-Year-Old Virgin is a little bit better. Audience agrees. Das Boot or Tomorrow Never Dies.
That's Das Boot, the director's cut. That is not the original Das Boot.
Okay.
The original Das Boot is far earlier than 1981. That's the second Pierce Brosnan one?
I think so, yes. No, this is the third one. Which one had Sophie, what's her face? I think this is the third one. It's the third one.
I don't think I've seen the third one then. I think this is the second one. I thought it was the second
No,
one.
it's the third one.
GoldenEye.
It's the third one.
Well, Das Boot, because
Das Boot. Easy, because I don't like that one. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or Karate Kid 2.
It's the same poster, too.
It is the same poster. It's like super random.
Yeah, it has to be the Karate Kid Part 2.
All right. To me, it's very easy. It's the Karate Kid Part 2.
Now, the Karate Kid Part 3, that was the one with the female lead, correct?
No, that's the fourth one.
Fourth one. Okay.
Yeah. The third one was he gets back home and Kreese has a friend. And then later on,
that's right.
It's like the CIA friend or whatever. Yeah. And they have this vicious young kid who is actually like much, much, much older than Daniel. This is like 10 years apart from Daniel. And he kicks the ever-living shit out of him until Daniel goes Super Saiyan and
over there.
just kicks him in 2 shots. Porky's or Adventures in Babysitting. Wow. Okay.
This is a fun one because that tagline, keep an eye out for the funniest movie about growing up ever made. Wrong. Porky's is funny, but it's not the funniest. Adventures in Babysitting, though, that's a classic. Adventures in Babysitting.
Wow, really? Not Porky's?
Yeah. I still like Porky's, but I'd rather watch Adventures in Babysitting.
I haven't watched Adventures in Babysitting in a whole bunch of time. I think of the two, I think I've seen both the same amount of times, about a couple times, maybe.
Thank you, Sander, for your very unbiased opinion.
Okay, if Sander picks Porky's because of tits, I will pick Porky's because of Bush. All right.
This is too easy.
This is the last one, and I'm so glad it's sequel versus sequel. On 2s are better than 1s, because let's face it, these 2s were not better than the originals. Pick one.
This one's actually very easy. It's Short Circuit 2, even though it's vastly inferior to the original. But Wayne's World 2 is just a fucking travesty. That movie is god awful.
You, sir, are mistaken. I would pick Wayne's World 2 any day for Short Circuit 2.
Oh God,
Short Circuit 2 falls literally off a cliff. It is like Johnny 5, the highlights, and it's Fisher Stevens trying to recapture gold.
Wayne's World, he decides, no, I'm going to have my own fucking rock music festival. And then he goes on like this weird side tangent. And then also it's a rehash of him having the bit with Tia Carrera's character. They half break up. And then at some point in time, he talks to fucking Steven Tyler for Aerosmith for like 5 minutes. And like, the fuck is this movie?
Who's the old lady? That's my old lady. That wins. Sorry. I'm sorry. That
was an easy one. There's Reanimator.
Yeah,
you saw it recently.
This one is Reanimator.
Reanimator, yeah.
hands down, it's the Reanimator. Easy. All right. Let me pull the movie up again. Okay. I want to discuss one bit. It's this bit where Ramirez and Wirtz go to comfort Gordon's wife.
Yeah.
And they don't tell her about Gordon because they don't know.
Need to. Well, they don't need to.
They don't need to. Or they were not trusted enough. Or
they weren't trusted enough to know the actual truth, so they assume that Jim is dead.
Yes. And this entire movie is like plans within plans within plans. And some things, like, I think most of the plans actually do work out, but the outcome is a little bit off. Because again, it's the Batman and Joker playing some sort of a sick game with each other where both of their goals are diametrically opposed, but for the same reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, the Joker makes a pretty eloquent point at the end, like the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object.
Yes,
they're
very
always
much
collide,
so.
and how they're destined to fight each other forever. Specifically because Maroni brings this up perfectly there, because we all know you won't kill. We know you have that rule. Joker, he'll kill anybody. We're not afraid of you anymore. We're afraid of him. We don't care about you anymore.
I love this bit where it's like Maroni looks down, is like, that's not gonna kill me.
That's not gonna kill me. Like, I'm counting on it. And he just shoots him off the building. I was like, okay. That's a good one.
That's like, to me, like a quintessential Batman move.
Yeah.
It was done so well. And like we discussed, Harvey steals an ambulance with the guy in it to interrogate him, not in front of cops, because he does have that vigilantism in him, because he is one of the Knights of Gotham.
And the most important bit about it is the fact that he had Rachel Dawes' name tag. So that was his triggering moment. Like, oh, you're going after the person that I love. Yeah. This is no longer about me taking down the mob. Now this is personal.
Now this is personal.
Yeah. And
hold on.
Go ahead.
You? Of course. Hold. But first you have to make me. Thank you. It is.
Are you having your daughter making more coffee?
It's 11 p.m. 11:20, and she's like, "Can I take a shower?" You're 14 years old. Can't you not ask for permission?
Go take a shower, kid.
Go take a shower, and also give me my coffee because Daddy needs some coffee. All right, back to the movie.
So we have the entire setup of essentially Batman's basically saying, well, to everyone who's working with them, he's apparently like he's targeting all of the mentally ill and trying to give them what they want. The same with the guy later who's obviously mentally ill with that whole, like, he could take away the pain and the voices in my head, and he said would fill me with bright light.
This is exactly what I meant when I said that there are things that are set up in like the late first act or second, whatever you want to call it, sort of like sets up in the middle, and then actually it shows you what he meant just a few scenes later with the guy who has the telephone and the telephone bomb in his belly. It's like he is so crazy, nobody believes him until the moment where it's just it's time to go.
I just want my phone call. But then essentially it turns into where Batman realizes that he can't do anything to stop him, and it was the only line that he told was like, how did you stop him eventually? Well, that's later, never mind. But during this is like, I'm not gonna tell the
world
else.
it's me
and burn everything else.
Save the city of this maniacal terrorist.
And the one thing that I loved was just as he's walking out, and he just goes, "Are you kidding? I'm going to tell him the whole thing was your idea."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cheeky little joke between Alfred and Bruce.
Yeah.
So we have Den's press conference, because this is after when Bruce walks away as Batman. He's like, "I'm going to turn myself in," and Harvey's going, "No, no, no. You're not going to turn yourself in like that. I'm going to force your hand." So he turns himself in. So take Batman to custody. I'm the Batman.
And Bruce takes a lot of flack for not coming forward. He takes a lot of flack from Rachel.
But he was about
again,
to.
It seems like it was all planned. We got such good service in this place. Holy shit. Anyway, but when Batman saves Dent, it seems like Dent was unaware of the plan. But if he wasn't aware of the plan, then Bruce counted on Dent to actually say he was Batman. And it's so weird because he has this truth is, I am Iron Man. It's like it's the same kind of scene. Well, the same year that Iron Man came out,
where Bruce Wayne was in the crowd, where I think he was actually trying to move toward the mics in order to confess. But
yes,
then
and
basically
then
it was just that he beat him to the punch.
Yeah, and it's so weird because at that point in time, would it be
like? Wouldn't it kind of be like I'm Spartacus moment? Because we're all Batman. You know. But the one bit I did like about that was the note that's given to Alfred before he reads it. The reveal of the fact that the coin was two-faced.
Yes, because he gives her the coin and she flips. What? Leave. We interrupt this podcast to tell you that there was a dead cockroach in the shower. Now with your regular programming.
That sounds like baby girl's problem.
That sounds like her problem, not a me problem, which will become a me problem in about 20 minutes. Yes, the fact that before he goes on, the armored car, he gives her the coin, and he repeats the line that he tells her in the courtroom where he says, it's not about luck. It's like, I make my own luck. And when she finally figures out that the coin that he keeps having to flip, it has two heads instead of heads and tails, she's like, oh, he does that because he already knows. He already leads people to that avenue. Yep. He leads witnesses to that. Sort of like, it tells a lot about Harvey without putting Harvey in the courtroom or anywhere else, getting his way all the time.
What's great too is when after he has the accident too. We're going to skip a level because we get a lot to burn through real quick. When he has the accident, when the coin's half burned, that's when it would like introduce a little bit of chaos. Because the coin, that a double-faced coin, is literally, there's a juxtaposition between the right and wrong, the yes or no, that he didn't have before. Before, he always just had yes, where he knew the outcome. Now he doesn't know the outcome anymore.
And it's not even that. The coin once he gets the coin back, because Bruce pulls it out of the rubble, he actually does find it in the rubble with one side burned and one side clear. And he goes to the hospital. He doesn't wake Harvey up. He just gives him back his coin. And nobody tells him about Rachel. And when he takes the coin and he sees the coin, he knows that Rachel had it. And he knows Rachel is dead because he could hear her over the intercom system or the voice, the speakerphone.
Well, he could only hear her saying...
When he turns it into the black, that's where he understands, they couldn't save her. She's dead.
Yeah.
So it has a duality function to telling you about Rachel, but also telling you that yes, your hand is in the chance of life. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. We'll get to this part. This is one of the action, more actiony bits in the movie where, if you look on the whole, like 2.5 hours, there's not a lot of actiony bits. This one is probably the most remembered one, where they have they kind of get forced into the underpass, getting boxed in. It's like the Joker uses a gun, doesn't quite do it, uses a machine gun, doesn't quite do it. Okay, I'll just use an RPG. But then with a little bit of help and, less aiming, he gets rid of all the cop cars, and then he just has the armored SWAT car to deal with. And that moment where the tumbler, by the way, I hate the rumbler or tumbler, what do you want to call it? I hate that car so much. I hate this fucking thing. This to me was never the Batmobile. It's too militarized. It doesn't have any bat wings. It's all function, no fun. And this
that was
one of my
kind
gripes.
of supposed to be the point of the Nolan verse, though.
I was getting to that point. I was getting to the point where Nolan was like, what if Batman was in the real world? What if the bat suit was technically a good, like, functional bat suit? So the car should be functional too. Everything should be functional, including that sonar that they used at the end, which was a major criticism about the Patriot Act. But,
which we'll discuss that in a second.
Yeah, I'm getting to that in a moment. So it's a big action set piece with the whole rack 'em up, and getting rid of the helicopter.
The helicopter. I say the passenger with Gordon, that gets revealed to be Gordon later, has to be the guy who steals that entire scene. Because when he was like, "Oh my God, is that a bazooka?"
Yeah.
And with the helicopter, that's not good. That's really not good.
Yeah. All right. So the motorcycle was a real prototype motorcycle, was working. Christian Bale was not allowed anywhere in the vicinity of this.
I can imagine why, because the studio's going, insurance, no.
Because of the thickness of the tires, you had a stunt guy who was a motorcycle rider who trained for a few weeks to even drive this thing.
Jesus.
It was very, very cumbersome to deal with. Now, every time you see him turn, it wasn't necessarily a real turn. This particular one was a real turn. But there's a moment where he goes up one building and then turns around.
Flips around, yeah.
Not real. There was a lot of wiring and jiggery pokery with that. Still, the stunt guy.
Also,
it's just not a real work.
Over it before, but also look at all the collateral damage that Batman causes.
Yeah, I know. And then we get to another point of 2 points from Batman 89. This showdown between Batman in the vehicle and Joker on foot with the gun, this was straight up a homage to the Batman 89 scene with him and the bat glider or bat wing, whatever, with Jack Nicholson and the ridiculous long handgun 38.
Oh, yeah. But
okay?
I do love just the fact that it is so just quintessential of this version of the Joker's character, how he's walking toward him. Come on, hit me.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Yeah. And when he does kind of fall, I want to get to the point. I got it before.
Oh yeah, when the one guy who reaches down to try to hit his cowl off, it zaps him, and the Joker's laughing, kicking the guy.
Yeah, kicking the guy. That is straight out of the animated series, by the way.
Yes, and how also, Gordon walks up behind him with a shotgun, going, "Come on, man, just give me 5 minutes."
Now, the moment of like Batman is just laying there waiting for them to do something. Again, this is Batman 89, where they're trying to figure. There's a moment where like Joker's henchmen were trying to figure out, they were sending their thing to the nose to pull it off, and then he wakes up and beats the ever living shit out of him. So again, small little details, trying to give a little bit of like homage to the old stuff, but keeping it grounded within the Nolan universe.
Yeah. Then from there, immediately going to basically just getting processed with all of the knives that they pull out of him. I just have to love that one's a potato peeler.
Yes.
Just like
one of them is an actual potato peeler, which is
like, because even the guy looks confused, like, all right.
In terms of lighting and cinematography, this entire scene is fucking
yes. The cinematographer
amazing.
Did such a great job with this.
They were nominated for an Oscar. They didn't win, but fucking shit.
Yeah.
Where
yeah, go ahead.
Again, this is straight out of the animated series where they could play with light and darkness. And it is in the comic books where Batman is in the dark coming out and like surprising you with the two eyes in the darkness. Yeah. It's just fantastic.
I love that whole bit too, where it was like, how does it feel to be so desperately alone? Assuming they are still your people, not Maroni's people. That and never start with the head. You make make him all fuzzy. See, it was like, I just wanted to see you go, and you didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? And like, the thing about the people like them, don't talk like them. Well, you're just trash trying to your kill for money. Like, don't talk like them. Because you're just like me. Like.
And if we're if we're talking about cinematography and filmmaking, there's another thing that I was strictly not aware of, and Christopher Nolan did it. And it's so interesting because you really don't notice it when you watch the movie, only when you analyze it this way. So they're sitting across from each other. And in this moment, the Joker is on the right and Batman is on the left. And then it switches to Batman where, Batman is now on the right and Joker is on the left, as you would be in a regular movie where you don't break it's called the 180 rule.
Yeah.
And then they actually do break the 180 rule. See, this is the regular shot where, again, Batman, if you flip it, Batman is on the right and Joker's on the left. That doesn't break it, okay? And then,
as Mep's getting to his point here, Kaliki, technically Sander is right. It does have something profane to say. Profound is another argument.
And then, of course, Batman is on the left, Joker's on the right. And then when it flips to the Joker's, it's really hard to manage the fucking VLC. And then when you flip it again, Joker's on the left and Batman's on the right. So they totally broke the entire code of filmmaking in order to disorient you and just focuses you on that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yet everything is distorted and all over the place because they don't cut away to the people listening until a little bit later after this. I found it, in terms of filmmaking, just filmmaking, very interesting because Nolan was trying to get to a point. The point is the Joker causes chaos, even though he's fully planned it out. but he does
which is
cause
kind of
chaos.
weird. You can't like fight about that. But again, that's where he lets slip that you have to save one of them.
Yes.
Then one of them then immediately goes into a bit about Rachel, and that's when Batman flips.
Yes, completely flips. But before that, Batman is literally kicking him through the room, and then, of course, putting his head through the glass, which causes a glass shard, which was used to take over Warts
later, which is a great bit that we'll discuss in a second.
Before Batman leaves, the Joker says something really interesting, which you don't get from any other Joker. It's like, you have nothing to threaten me with.
You have nothing to do with all of that strength.
Yes. Yeah. With all your might, with all your power, with everything you've got, you have nothing. You have no hand, as Costanza would have said. You have nothing to threaten me with. There's nothing you can do to make me bow to your will. And this is fundamentally the problem that Batman has with the Joker throughout time and space. Because, again, it's the immovable object and the unstoppable force idea of they can't be without each other, and they cannot be with each other. It's just too much. Just too much. So, we mentioned this guy. Again, he's one of those guys where Joker targeted because he's crazy, because he's psychotic or schizophrenic or whatever, and nobody cares about him because this is Gotham, and Gotham is a grimy, gritty city that doesn't care about the low lives. They just cause crime.
Yep.
And it's the same concept that they ported from Batman Begins and then ported again to The Dark Knight Rises, which doesn't really work there.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises not so much. And also, he wasn't, to Sanders' point, Bane really wasn't an agent of chaos. He was of an ideology. That's far different.
Yeah.
But so with they do the whole split off the gas bit, which I thought was really clever on how he became Two-Face.
Where he tries to free himself, he falls into the gasoline or the oil or whatever, and when Batman takes him away, because the explosion is so severe, he does catch fire. Yeah. It's really different from any, like, I knew Harvey Dent for like the acid thing. That's my because I watched the animated series rather than read the comic books, and that's sort of that's a clever way of actually giving you a real Two-Face. Bane is anarchy in a person. I don't think he's anarchy.
Not in that interpretation.
Not in
definitely
that
not
way.
in the comics. Not in the comics in any way, shape, or form. In fact,
in Dark Knight Rises.
No, in the Dark Knight Rises, no, because there's even a kangaroo court that they build up. So there's a hierarchy, which is the antithesis of anarchy itself. It's just basically criminals are the ones that are in charge. Where
I think Bane is more like, and even Harvey Dent as well, is more like a Thanos type of character, where it's like it's fair to just cut it in half, sort of like the Solomon trial. It's like, we'll cut the baby in half. And
well, more than anything, if anything, Bane is just the ultimate simp in The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, true. That's why it doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's why The Dark Knight Rises doesn't work as a narrative.
Yeah, Kalikioki, there's a purpose to their actions. Yeah. But even Joker has a purpose to his action. It's just to cause mayhem.
And cause chaos.
See the people scatter and see the Batman work.
Yep. I would say that was probably one of the best, most intimidating scenes of the Joker talking to Wirtz. Like, well, so how many of your friends did I kill? 6.
Yeah.
Do you know why I prefer knives? Because a gun's too quick. You don't get the subtle emotions. You can see people are like, do you want to know which one of your friends were cowards?
That is really dark. Like, that was really, really dark. Again, I mentioned it before. This is probably the only places where you can actually see it pretty clearly. If you can see his hands, it has like white and red paint.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. It's really good.
You can see it in the final scene too, where he's actually wearing purple gloves. He has white paint on his fingers.
Yeah.
And then what he asks is like, "What do you want?" I just want my phone call.
Question. This was an IMAX shot.
Yes.
Okay. Just I wanted on confirmation because I wasn't too sure.
Yep.
Wasn't this replicated in the Joker as well? The first Joker?
Kind
or
of.
Am I kind of misremembering this?
A little bit.
A little bit, right? A little bit. But this is like the Joker giving you a little bit of the older Joker. Can't believe. Well,
and also like paying attention to the line that he says to Harvey. Harvey a little bit later. Well, I'm just like a dog chasing after a car.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. The point of the letter. So the letter comes into play here, kind of, where he gives him his breakfast, the same breakfast at the start of the movie he wanted to give him, but he wasn't there. And he gives him the letter, but he hears Bruce say she was going to, to leave him to be with me.
Yeah.
And the letter specifically says no.
No, I'm not going to wait for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait for you. So Alfred takes it away and then he burns the letter.
That's why I think Michael Caine was the best Alfred in any interpretation that I've seen outside of comics anyway of Alfred Pennyworth.
Okay.
Because especially in The Dark Knight Rises, that scene still gets me. At the very end, when he sees him after he has the funeral for Bruce, and then he sees him at the cafe.
Yeah.
But we have the bits with Dent. I love the reveal with Dent and Gordon.
Yeah. Because it starts off with, you can kind of see him burn, but you're like, what? You really want to know what's on the other side of that face. And when it kind of reveals itself, it's like, oh shit, I didn't expect that much. It's really interesting how they did it, because he was wearing a dotted, not a face paint, but an actual sort of fabric of sorts that was kind of adhesive to his face. And they shot several scenes where he did the same lines again and again, just to make sure the facial dotted things would work for the CGI. Very interesting how they did that. A very technical way of doing that. And they really Nolan really wanted Eckhart's performance, because the CGI face is really hard to get the emotes right. Again, this is CGI of 2008, but the real side, you can definitely see the emotions, and it bridged the gap of the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
The real side bridges that gap so you can accept the sort of fake CGI side. Very interesting how they sort of thought about how to do it. He really wanted Eckhart's real performance and not like a CGI head. And it works really well.
That conversation too reveals the whole bit. That was the best part of the moniker Two-Face.
Yeah.
Because he was Harvey Two-Face when he was in Internal Affairs. So, yeah.
And this was another one.
Because I love it how Lau was stacked on top of the pile of money that he's going to burn.
Yeah, it's like I like dynamite. I like gasoline.
The best thing about them is they're cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap. So he like, what are you doing? I'm burning. I'm burning my half. Now, does this pile represent just half of it? Because I always thought, no, this is all of it, and he burns his half, and he doesn't care about the other half being burned as well.
Yep.
And you can take it both ways.
Yeah. Paul, that's a good point. Yeah, this is before that rig was used.
All right. I'm going to push way forward because we have to finish in about 15 minutes. And yes, we get to the real scene where we talked about this throughout the day.
Yeah, so
where he takes off it starts off with him taking off the mask and it's like, hi.
This is very comfortable. Like, ew.
It's just
almost not in the Urkel way. Like, did I do that?
Yes,
my bad.
Very much so.
My bad, buddy.
But this is one of the things that we didn't touch upon. Oh, fuck. One of the things we didn't touch upon is the fact that he kind of even though it was already there, he kind of plants the fact that it's sort of chaos is fair because there's a randomness to life where he like I said, he puts it in his head, and it's also the final nail in the corruption of Harvey Dent.
Yeah,
where
like
in this case
they were all schemers. You used to scheme. Now look at you.
Yeah, it's sort of like it is the nail in the coffin of the Joker won this soul over the Batman.
And this is really his victory was Harvey Dent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the entire concept that Nolan and Goyer worked on when they kind of finalized what they wanted out of this movie is being Dent, even though he's not the main character, he is the main focus because everyone around him are essentially fighting for his soul. And this is the moment where they lose.
Yes,
the real moment where they lose.
There's also that's also with the entire bit with Reese threatening about like reveal who Batman is. But it was like, well, if Reese isn't dead in an hour and blowing up a hospital, I know everybody turns. Where it's exactly what the Joker said to Batman, like they'll eat each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And my VLC is fucked.
And it's trying to move that toward then what happens with the fairies later. It's the same kind of concept where he assumed the worst was going to prevail.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that during that scene is Aaron Eckhart had a very he did the story multiple times, but during that he always said, so I'm laying in the hospital bed and Heath is just walking around me and he's in character, but he's mumbling to himself because he's in character, and he just walks up and grabs my hand.
Yeah.
And he says after we wrap that day, we're both walking to our trailers, and he goes, now that was acting.
Yes, I agree. And again, we have that sort of, we talked about it, that the comedic moment of where he walks out and it's just
slaps
nothing really exploding. It's like, what the fuck? What
boom, boom, boom. It is like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Oh shit, and he just goes on the bus. Now, again, we mentioned the escalation, the war on terror. And when they asked Chris Nolan about this, he said that he really didn't want to conflate this escalation with the real world one.
The Patriot Act and the NSA.
The Patriot Act, the NSA, the listening to every microphone in the city, which is not moral. And the fact that Bruce tells Lucius, yeah, just one man will control it, but I'm putting it in your hands because I count on the fact that you are so against this, then just typing your name will just kill this machine. But we still need to use it to save the city.
Yeah.
So it's that duality of this is way too powerful, but we have to have this because we need to save the city from this insane man. So sort of ultimate power. What do I do with ultimate power? Because ultimate power corrupts ultimately. And Lucius, at the end of once they're done with this thing, he kills it. Because he knows ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Because he says after this is done, consider this my letter of resignation as well. And then he's like, oh, well, and all he had to do is like, once it's done, put your name in and it's over. It's done.
Yeah, it's over. Lucius is naive. I don't think he's naive. I think he's fully aware what happens when you have certain abilities or certain avenues or certain powers if you're just human.
I believe that he had the fundamental belief in what Bruce Wayne was attempting to accomplish, but this was, again, a bridge too far, and this was the final attempt. That bit right there with Maroni in the car to figure out who the corrupt cops were. I love that bit because he flips a coin. You're lucky.
You're lucky.
But
and then he puts on a seatbelt. It's like, and he flips it again. It's like, what are you doing? You just exonerated me. It's like, yeah, but you're driver. And he shoots the driver.
Yeah.
Just fantastic understanding of the character of Harvey Two-Face. Not Harvey Dent, but Harvey Two-Face.
Yes.
This is why this version of Harvey Two-Face is probably the movie definitive version, because the other version is Tommy Lee.
Well, yeah, the movie definitive version, yes. Overall definitive version, debatable.
Animated series, probably. Okay,
no, I think
the ending. We have to talk about the ending because we don't have a lot of time. We really
the thing with the boats, the one thing that I will agree with Sandra on this one, also the FBI bit, definitely I agree with you 100%. But also, there is absolutely no way in hell that they would put just citizens on a boat out of the city. Moving the prisoners makes sense because it's prison transport. But the citizens, no. But again, we have the angry white dude being the big asshole, and we got Debo showing up.
Debo, the real criminal hero in this town. Just saying. It's so crazy because he had it right. Either I'm gonna take it and throw it away, or these criminals will fucking kill you.
I think it's the best way it's written, the fact that like, no, give it to me or they're going to kill you and get it from you anyway. Give it to me and I'll do what you should have done 10 minutes ago. And you're thinking, oh, he's going to pull it. He's going to blow up the boat. No, he just tosses it out the window.
Yeah. And on the other hand, the guy who was so loud and actually pulling the trigger when he had the
turns
trigger.
out I'm just a giant fucking pussy. I can't pull the trigger either. Well, it's also like the entire time you're going, it's past midnight. They haven't blown you up yet.
Yeah. And I think both of us have a little bit of issue with that last sequence of like getting the clowns are hostages. The hostages are like
because it's a repeat of what he kind of did before. It's a smart move on his part, making it so like it's again a completely chaotic situation.
And of course, the dogs come into play again. Which
I know I get to see the rowdy babies.
I know.
They're probably all good boys. No, but they have that fight. But again, he almost got to a point where he gets to say, like, do you know how I got these scars? But no, I know how you got these ones. And he does a little like the flick out, which is a good setup and payoff from the beginning when Lucius shows up. Like, maybe you should read the manual first before you start messing with it. And yes, Sander, yes, he was the president in The Fifth Element. And yes, we
know.
covered that movie before and had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, he did. All right. This moment, again, another homage to Batman 89, where the Batman did have the Joker upside down, tied to one of the things, and he was trying to save him. But, Jack being Jack, they ended up being dead on the floor.
To be honest, this is actually a callback to comics and like this.
I know there's another like
early
straight
80s.
up comics reference.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know the issue, but I know there's another one. There's a panel with them looking at each other where Joker is hanged upside down.
I think
and
I think that the actual line he says no. I think he says, I think he said, we're gonna do this dance forever, and there's no other dance partner I'd rather have than you. I do believe that. I'm paraphrasing, but I do believe that's the line, something like that.
No, but there is a panel where they have a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Batman is the Joker is hanged upside down.
Yeah.
And again, film wise, first he's hanged upside down with his head down, and then he is hanged upside down, but he is shot as if he was like right side up.
Yeah.
Right? Again, flipping the camera and doing against the traditional filmmaking. And it's all because they're facing each other, having this weird conversation where essentially Batman realizes for the second time that they're just going around and around and around and around. Because
wouldn't it be funny if they did like the Spider-Man Mary Jane upside down kiss?
I think I've seen that in a porno somewhere. It was a gay porn, and I saw it for a minute.
I would say it
wasn't good gay. It wasn't a good gay porn.
Does rise, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, wasn't a good gay porn. And yes, that was a joke, by the way.
Yes. So the best part about that was the setup. Even if, because they're like, "Are you ordered fireworks? Here we go." The bomb, they don't go off, and he goes, "What, do you think I was going to lose the soul of Gotham over a fist fight with you?"
Yeah.
No, it's all about Harvey Dent, you idiot.
Yeah. And again, it brings me back to he planned all this elaborate thing where they have to use these fairies, where they planted the fucking bombs, and all to disguise the fact that he set Harvey Dent loose, corrupted as hell.
Well, I think that was also his backup plan. He was assuming that the fairies were probably one of them was going to blow up.
Yeah, probably. And, he doesn't really care if they blow up or not. He just wanted to have some fun. And what's more fun than shit blowing up? Remember, he likes gasoline, knives, and fucking dynamite. So the soul of Gotham, that conversation that was a little bit too long. Let's call it what it is. A little bit too long.
Yeah, and what I find funny too is I think they deliberately, with this version of Jim Gordon, they made they made it the antithesis of the Killing Joke, where Barbara Gordon is the focus of the child that, the Joker literally shoots her and paralyzes her.
Yeah.
So instead of like, no, we're gonna make it Jim's son this time instead.
I mean, his daughter is there. I don't even think they call her by name.
They don't. They mention Barbara, the wife, who in comic book narrative was dead for a long time. But
yeah, I was thinking, he's sort of like placed as an only like a single father, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, Bruce is trying to speak to Harvey as if he's still Harvey Dent, and he fails to realize that he is Harvey Two-Face now. And
Yeah, he's
there's
trying to tell him,
no
like,
going,
you're
going
doing
back.
exactly what the Joker wanted you to do. Like this is his
Yeah.
entire plan all the time, to prove against someone even as good as you can be corrupted. They
Yeah.
turn.
Even as good as you can fall.
Yeah.
And essentially what happens is Harvey falls physically.
Well, after he shoots Batman, which is a callback to originally the plating.
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
So.
And when they do get up, this is where he just mentions that that sentence where Harvey said it before. It's like, you only live to see yourself being a villain if you live long. It's like die a hero or live long enough to see yourself being a villain.
Yeah.
And I need to be the villain now. I need to be the one that's being chased. You can blame his death on me because we don't want other people to know that he became able to be. He became the very thing he was fighting. Because the Joker corrupted him. And they have that again. They wanted to have a scene where the police chases him through rooftops, a la the animated series, but they couldn't get it to work. So they just had a chase scene through the open grounds.
Well,
they were going for the animated
cargo containers,
version.
And they were also at one point in time was a different version. Is initially he was going to have the motorbike there, and they're going to have a chase through the streets. But it was like how Batman knew it better, so he was able to navigate around Gotham to get away. But yeah, they didn't want to do that either, so they just had him kind of.
So they do have a brief kind of bike scene. But it's after they chase him around and they have a very cinematic sort of a chase.
Yeah.
You were just missing the searchlights. That's all. If they had that searchlight.
Yeah. But then we have then the speech at Dent's funeral bringing up everything that's juxtaposed with the destruction of the bat signal.
Yeah.
And Lucius frying all the monitors so the entire thing is over. And it's like well, that's like then especially Gordon just bringing up he's the Dark Knight,
that's about it. Now 3 hours have passed and we can keep going. But I need to go to bed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been here from the start, please just do a replay. And also next week, well, let's talk about next week. Next week, we are covering.
I won't be there.
I know. Mr. Roma Feelings is not going to be there. It's either going to be a solo show. Yes, a solo show, a very short solo show, or we're going to have a guest. I still don't have a guest lined up. So Jacob could have, but he had some things. Jacob from Society Reviews. Yeah. But he just couldn't. He's just not home. So it's either going to be a solo show or a no show. They're going to be a show, either a guest or solo. That's what I'm saying. So go watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier, because 2s are better than 1s.
Yep. And
come back to us next week with lots of piss and vinegar. Show's going to be back on a regular time at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Or if you're on the UK side, it's 8 p.m. Europe side, it's 9 p.m. All right. And also, one little thing. I know I don't push my own sub count, but there's about 4 months left of the year, and I'm about 87 or 86 subs away from 3,000. It would be nice to finish the year like in a big round number at the big 3,000. It's not much, but it's sort of, it will boost my own ego. So if you don't mind, go and subscribe if you haven't, and leave a like and comment and all that good, YouTube stuff. Because remember, guys, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. We'll see you next week.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.